Well, the 2014 season has been a disappointing one for Grand Valley's senior class, but today 17 players will try in their final game to walk off the field at Lubbers Stadium a winner.
We're a 54-man unit, that's what we are. Get it up for each other. Let's go!
And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Grand Valley State University. Today, the Lakers hosting Tiffin in the final home game in Allendale here in 2014. Along with Bob Mitchell, I'm Tom Cleary. Grand Valley has been beaten up a little bit, and they've been beaten some games this season, but still playing for pride here today against a Tiffin team that's similar in a lot of different ways. Bob, we talk about this young quarterback, Pipkin, for the opponents today. He's a guy with over 2,000 yards passing and over 400 yards rushing.
Yeah, dual threat quarterback, something that Grand Valley saw in Findlay a couple weeks ago. Very familiar quarterback, and Grand Valley's going to have to do a great job putting pressure on him, getting to him, and not letting him get big plays with his feet or through the air.
They don't throw the ball. They throw the ball quite well. They don't run the ball all that well. So Antonio Pipkin will be the guy that we'll take a look at here tonight. Terrell Dorsey, the running back, who's going to have to shoulder the load with so many injuries for Grand Valley. But again, we talk about 17 seniors who have been such a big part of things around here for a long time. Those guys do not want to end on a bad note.
No, as a former player, one of the games you remember the last is your last home game. And so the seniors that are still playing, because a lot of them are hurt, they're going to remember this game. So they're going to have to come out with a big performance tonight against a really good Dragon football team from Tiffin.
Two teams that are mid-table right now in the Great Lakes Intercollegiate Athletic Conference squaring off today. Grand Valley needs a win today and one next week to finish over 500 for the year. We'll see how it shakes out. It's Grand Valley and Tiffin coming up next right here on the Grand Valley Sports Network.
You learn something every single day at Grand Valley State University about who you are and who you can become, about where you've been and where you're going, about your goals and how to accomplish them. At the end of the day, you know what you want from life. Find it within yourself. Find it within Grand Valley State University.
I was only 18 when I was diagnosed with cancer. I went from being an active, healthy teenager to becoming very sick very quickly. But thanks to the collaboration between researchers and my oncologist, I survived, and I'm now in remission.
We were curious, could a checking account help fight cancer? We'll give $150 to Stand Up to Cancer and $150 to you when you open a new checking account with direct deposit and make 3 online bill payments at Fifth Third Bank, the Curious Bank.
Well, it is a brisk day here in Allendale. Very cloudy, a little bit cold, and certainly more wind than we've seen at any time this season here this afternoon. Bob Mitchell, they introduced 17 seniors that'll be leaving Allendale after this season. This is their final home game. The bad news for Grand Valley was about 6 or 7 of the 17 that were introduced were guys who were injured and not playing. So that's a double hit for the Lakers. But Grand Valley will get the ball first, and we'll have an opportunity to get out on a team that has some offensive ability. They want to do that.
Well, Coach Mitchell talked about it earlier this week. They got to get off to a good start. They haven't done that in their losses. They've gotten off to a slow start and had to try to fight from behind. And I think this first drive is going to be indicative and very important to the Lakers on how they're going to perform today, and they need this win. They need something for these seniors to go out on. You talked about it, 17 seniors are leaving, and 6 of them, Michael Rattay, Hersey Jackson, Peyton McCallum, Eric LeBoon, Keontre Miskill, Bobby Wonderlick, all of them not even dressing today. So a thin group of seniors, a great group of seniors that have done so much for this program, but the ones that are remaining have to really play hard. We talked about it in the pregame about how much you remember this last game, and these seniors are going to remember this one for years to come.
Tomislav Durizic has it on the tee. He's a big fella from Mentor, Ohio, and he gets off a very good kick, and this is going to be a touchback sailing over the head of the 2 Grand Valley players back deep, and that was Brandon Bean, the redshirt freshman wide receiver, and Jamie Potts, who certainly will be on the field for the first play from scrimmage. Heath Parling playing for the final time here. He's been around for a long time. He stayed an extra year. You recall that 3 years ago, when Grand Valley was off to a fantastic start, Parling was hurt in the 3rd game of the season with Grand Valley undefeated and missed the remaining portion of the year. Isaiah Grimes, his backup, had a very good season that year. But you think what might have been. I remember when Heath Parling was hurt the week before, Grand Valley scored 83 points against Notre Dame College. We'll see if he can get some large fraction thereof here as they get started with Terrell Dorsey running up the middle against a team that doesn't play the run particularly well. Actually, it's Chris Robinson, the first carry of the game. We didn't expect that, but he's in there, and that's good to see.
Yeah.
And here's the lineup. Jamar Randolph is out hurt right now, and one of the guys that they've moved into position for Tiffin is Isaiah Dexter. We'll see a lot of him and Brandon Persons from Grand Rapids Community College. This is a team with a lot of Michigan representation, Bob. I think 12, 13 players, something like that, from Tiffin, who have had some roots with the state of Michigan. Parling with time. No pressure whatsoever. It's not a very good ball, though, over the top of Jamie Potts at the 36 with the defensive back Sean Scott over there guarding. It'll be 3rd and call it 9 now for Grand Valley.
Yeah, just a bad throw right there by Heath Parling. You're going to see a lot of pressure on the outside on these wide receivers, forcing Grand Valley to run the ball, something Coach Mitchell talked about. He's got some guys that are moved around on that offensive line, and we'll talk about it in a minute. A guy starting at center from Catholic Central that has never played a football game, and they're going to have to really be important today because Grand Valley's going to have to run the ball to be successful.
Yeah, it's Aaron Cox who's in there. They've shuffled the offensive line with LeBoon out and also Peyton McCallum as well, so it's not a great setup. Empty backfield now with 4 receivers. Play clock down to 4. Parling still with time to get this one off and does. Gets a lot of pressure, throws it out here. And this time Jamie Potts has got it, and he's got the first down for the Lakers at the 37-yard line. The execution on that one as good as it was poor in the first play.
Absolutely. Tiffin brings the house. They bring everybody here. It's a full-out blitz. They call it the Vegas Blitz, bringing the house, and a great job of catching the ball over his head right there. Jamie Potts, man, this kid continues to impress, and a big first down for Grand Valley.
We really thought it might be a problem for Jamie getting separation downfield. We don't think of him as having wide receiver speed, but he's done okay this year, and he's posted numbers, Bob, that are very similar to what he did last year. So you really can't point to that as being part of Grand Valley's downfall. That move to the outside for him was necessary, and it's kind of worked out.
Well, he's a special athlete, and we talked about it last week. Grand Valley coming off a tough loss against Ashland, and we're looking for a bright spot and really having a tough time to find one. Potts has been the bright spot of this year. He's just a phenomenal athlete who's moved from the tight end, dropped some pounds to try to help out this program, moving to the wide receiver position, and he's done a phenomenal job this year.
Grand Valley got 4 on that first down run. They are already out near midfield here, and they get shifted around a little bit. And let's see if Heath has got him in the right position. I'm a little concerned about Terrell Dorsey, but he knew what he was doing, and he got the ball and very nearly stepped through that hole for a big gain. Instead, he gets about 3 to the 47. It'll be 3rd and short for the Lakers here in the first possession. Grand Valley working from south to north here at Lubbers Stadium, from right to left on your viewing screen, and against a team that has given up some yards in the ground, which would be normally a great opportunity for this Grand Valley program in the last couple of years, but no Mike Rattay, probably not Kirk Spencer, and Chris Robinson maybe only with limited action here today.
I had to talk to Coach Mitchell before the game, and just unbelievable the injuries they've seen at that running back position.
That's a good ball and a nice catch for Grand Valley by Joe Robbins. Ran into Matt Mitchell a couple hours before the game, and he said Joe Robbins has had a pretty good year, and we'd like to use him a little bit more. And really, this is something that we haven't seen a lot of, that little short or intermediate pass in the middle of the field this year for Grand Valley, and it works that time for a first down.
Well, that's the kind of play that Grand Valley is going to have to be successful at today because of the pressure that they put on the outside. That means that Tiffin can bring a lot of pressure on the inside, which means a short pass, short intermediate pass is what they're going to have to take advantage. And Robbins being at 6'3", 205 pounds, he's a guy that can get separation and use his big body to make those big plays.
Heath Parling is checking off at the line of scrimmage, now drops back into the shotgun. He moves Robinson up. Brian Moran is in the game. He's 43. Instead, they go to Robinson. It's a nice play by Heath Parling and by Chris Robinson, who burst forward for about 15. Another Laker first down, and now guys getting tangled up at the end of the play. We saw enough of that last week. I don't think Grand Valley wants to go down that road again, but the officials, perhaps because it's early, they let the guys blow off a little bit of the steam and now take control of the game.
A good officiating crew. I talked to them early before the game. This is their third consecutive game doing a Tiffin game, so they're familiar with that crew. But a great job, Grand Valley, right now mixing the run and the pass, keeping Tiffin off balance.
Potts is the receiver to the near side, two to the top, and they're going to go back to Chris Robinson again. And that time, Grand Valley was not able to get the block by Brandon Revenberg, who was swung out to the outside today. It's really quite unusual, Bob, to see your center move out to tackle.
Center move out to tackle, your tackle,
Jim Walsh.
Jim Walsh moving to guard. I mean, just the transitions and all the movement. And it's one of the things as an offensive line that is really important is cohesiveness and guys playing together at the same positions all year long. And Grand Valley, this is their sixth different set offensive line wise in their games, and that's just unheard of. And so one of the things that you can look at with the tough record that Grand Valley's had is just the inconsistency that they have up front.
See if Parling tries to get up over the top this time. Both corners pressing. He's got a lot of time to throw. Instead, he drags it out to Brian Moran inside the 10, inside the 5 to the 2. And there's another guy that the coach mentioned. He said this guy has gotten better every week. And when you say that, when you're a coach who says that, you're talking mostly about practice, Bob, because these guys haven't played a lot, the younger fellas, and he showed pretty good wheels out there to run away from the linebacker.
Well, the two positions Grand Valley came into the season very deep at was one is running back and the second was tight end. The coaches were really high coming out of the fall practices on their depth at both positions. The running back position took a huge hit with all the injuries, but the tight end position still stands strong with a lot of guys that can make plays.
Impressive opening drive for the Lakers. Robinson is back in. Parling's taking his time. Now he's going to drop again. Notice maybe an extra guy in the box there. Now Grand Valley's going to shift out with the right wide receiver, Bean. They got the play out. They're going to try to lob it up here. Incomplete. Not really there for Jamie Potts, who was tied up with Brandon Person. And we should mention Brandon, a guy who lists Grand Rapids as his hometown. He's a former Grand Rapids Community College player, and as such is part of an endangered species because that program has gone away. Not really much there.
No, great job. You see it on the replay right there. Person doing a great job of bumping at the line, not getting any separation. And Potts looking for a call there, but just a great job being physical at the line by Person for the Tiffin Dragons.
Throw back to the Chuck Martin era there at the fade in the end zone. Instead, Grand Valley. Parling's going to look as he throw it to Moran. He does for the touchdown. Oh, he almost put one in the dirt on him, but Brian Moran, who did great work on that drive, caught the pass that got him first and goal, gets a touchdown.
Parling could have walked into the end zone. Instead, he's a quarterback. He wants to throw, give his tight end opportunity, and almost threw it away. And a great job by Moran. We'll see here on the replay, going down low to get it.
I think he was trying to do the nice thing there. He knew he was being selfless there, and he's laughing a little bit. He knows that he almost didn't get that one there, but the extra point by Skipper is through in 4.5 minutes in. The Lakers have the start they're looking for. It's Grand Valley 7, Tiffin nothing today on the Grand Valley Sports Network.
For about the past 7 months, Ellie's been running really high fevers, anywhere from 101 to 105. I really appreciated that when Ellie was going through a lot of her health problems that Dr. Duttler called me personally.
I think it's important for parents to know that we really care about these kids just as we would care for our own children. Access to health is really an important part of being a medical home in primary care. So we do allow our patients to make same-day appointments whenever possible. They can email me, or they can call.
Ellie really likes going to see Dr. Duttler. Doctor.
Well, there's Heath Parling with Isaiah Grimes. They're enjoying themselves on the sidelines and guys talking it over a little bit. Heath had a very, very good series of plays that last time. Not only did he make some good throws, Bob, after the first erstwhile throw to Jamie Potts, but he made some good decisions. Remember that run that Robinson had for 15 was on a audible call made by the quarterback. And if you've been around Matt Mitchell for the last couple of years, you know what he likes most about Parling, his competitiveness and his football smarts and savvy. He's really, really advanced in those areas.
Definitely. I had a chance to talk with Tim Morrison, the offensive coordinator, earlier this week, and he said that he had to give a better chance for Heath Parling to make decisions at the line, getting the ball off.
Well, there's a fumble. Tiffin's going to get it back at the 28-yard line. They ran a little bit of a trick play there, and we'll get back to that a little bit later. But let's go back and take a look at that Grand Valley drive that resulted in the touchdown. Grand Valley scoring first, and they did it on the ground and through the air. We'll get to that in just a moment here as Tiffin is out onto the field quickly. And let's talk about this quarterback, who's a very fine one. Antonio Pipkin, 17 touchdowns, 2,500 yards passing. He's the team's leading scorer with 400 yards on the ground. They want to throw it, and this kid can run it. And he's got big, big yardage on first down, 15 yards up to the 45-yard line. And we've said it before, Bob, Grand Valley over the last couple of seasons has been hurt more on pass-type plays than they have on running plays, although that was a run. Here's the summary. That was the first down completion to Potts. Chris Robinson then going for 15. The big play in the drive came after that when they dragged it across to Moran, who simply ran away from the linebacker. And then the touchdown toss to Moran. Here's Pipkin on the move. This young guy is really quite a player and will be for a while, from Gary, Indiana. Throws it out, and it's knocked down. That is not a lateral or a back pass. It's just slightly forward, and the guy that got there was Matt Judon from West Bloomfield, making a great play.
This defensive front for Grand Valley is way more athletic than this Tiffin front right now. Last week we saw a really good offensive line from Ashland. Tiffin does not have the athletes and the size that Ashland had last week, so Grand Valley's front four are really going to have to be disruptive, because Pipkin, like you talked about last week, throwing for 321 yards, rushing for 74, a dual threat quarterback, similar to what we saw against Finley.
They're going to try to run wide. Grand Valley's got to defend it pretty well, and they're going to take the runner down for a short gain, and that's Jordan Nobles, who's in there right now wearing 26 in white and green. And Grand Valley not fooled that time, got people out to the sideline and closed down pretty quickly.
DeAndre Hurst did a great job on the outside, beating the block from the wide receiver. Here we see Tiffin's offensive front. You saw Pipkin, you talked about him, but really talented wide receivers on the outside as well.
They've got three guys who come into this game with 36 catches or more. The leader is number 9, Marcus Byram, who's got 52 coming into this one. So Pipkin, we'll see if he can get it done. You can't just chase him around. Kind of a guy that you want to contain in the pocket, but you don't want to give him all day in the pocket either, because he's an accomplished thrower. And now Gary Goff and Tiffin will take a timeout with 9:10 remaining, and we'll stay right here for this one. You know, we mentioned Matt Judon, and you were talking earlier, Bob, in our broadcast about the bright spot for Grand Valley this year being Jamie Potts. We'll get back to Matt Judon in a minute. Right now, Lakers up 7 on the Grand Valley Sports Network.
Gotta go! I'd like to welcome you to our basement. I'd like to read a brief statement. We, the Hubacher family, are pleased to announce today that we've acquired the following players: Buster Posey, Mike Trout, Yadier Molina, Bryce Harper, Derek Jeter, and Miguel Cabrera. We believe that this demonstrates, once again, our family's unwavering commitment to assemble the very best team in this neighborhood.
Mr. Hubacher, you've really upped the ante here. How do you expect the other families in the neighborhood to respond?
Well, the Harris family's gonna be none too pleased.
Word is the Harrises are putting together quite a team of their own. Any concerns?
Under Cliff Harris's mismanagement, they already used up all their wall space with a bunch of paintings. I mean, really, come on.
Dad.
I know.
All right, next question.
Start building your own dream team at fathead.com.
Okay, after the timeout, Antonio Pipkin has Tiffin to the line here in this 3rd and 7 situation. Ball just shy of midfield for the visitors. Lakers up early. Let's see what kind of heat. Looks like Grand Valley's going to drop in coverage. Mosley's coming with heat, but now Pipkin gets free, and he's going to be able to throw it easily, but that ball was just flat out dropped by Byram. And talk about options.
Yeah.
Pipkin could have walked for the first down,
Absolutely.
Bob, and I think he threw a perfect ball. It's not really his fault, but Grand Valley really got off easily this time.
You look at the two options that he had right here. We'll see a wide open field where he can run for the first down, but he sees a wide open receiver that can get him more yardage, and he makes the perfect delivery, and his receiver flat out dropped the ball. Great decision by Pipkin. A tough drop for Tiffin, and Grand Valley off to a great start, just what they wanted, because they had a tough time the last game we talked here a week ago in Ashland getting off the field on third downs.
Matt Williams is back at the 10. This is not a particularly good kick, but it might work out fairly nicely, really, for Tiffin. Not out of bounds at the 14. And we'll take a break right now and come. We'll stay here right now. But I wanted to talk about Matt Judon, who I thought maybe over pursued on that last pass play, got out of his lane and kind of tried to loop around Bob. But there's a great story this year. A guy who had 2 serious injuries, and a lot of us thought back to Danny Richard, who's from West Bloomfield, the defensive end a couple of years ago. After his second injury, you felt like it was just a ticking time bomb, and and that's what inevitably happened. He was hurt again, but Judon has solidified his spot on this team, and boy, do they need him coming back next year.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Like, you talk about some Lakers in the pros. You know, there's 6 of them right now starting, and this is a kid that scouts are really looking at. And if he can have a good offseason, stay healthy, which is the most important part, he's got an opportunity to really make an impact next year.
This is a very nice first down run by Terrell Dorsey, who is right at the 25, which would give him a first down. They signaled to move the chains. That last punt was good for 35. They marked the ball out of bounds at the 15, not the 14. And the Lakers run it with Terrell Dorsey. Some question about whether or not Tiffin is real big up front, Bob, and whether they can stop that straight ahead running game from Grand Valley.
Exactly, and I think Grand Valley is going to continue to run the ball. And talk about Terrell Dorsey. He's the 4th running back for this guy, for Grand Valley, coming in. A kid from Ohio that is just a fantastic running back, and the depth that Grand Valley has is phenomenal at that position.
Grand Valley jet sweeps his time with Brandon Bean. Can he struggle to get the first down? No, pretty close. They're going to give him the 35. They're going to put the ball right down at the 35. And if past indications are an indication here, if it's even close these days, they just seem to give you the first down.
Absolutely, yeah. No bringing in the chains. Nobody wants to slow down the game, but we see the jet sweep right here, and Brandon Bean running to the outside, and not something that we see in a whole lot of. And Brandon Bean, standing at about 6'3", 205 pounds. We haven't seen that jet sweep a lot, but boy, does he run up and down really tall. He needs to lower those shoulder pads so he doesn't take that big hit. We're used to seeing guys like Blake Smolin and some smaller guys taking that jet sweep.
He's a strider. And he's the guy you'll be able to recognize the rest of the day. It looks like he's wearing a pajama top underneath his jersey, kind of striped. I'm sure it's completely legal. Grand Valley with Chris Robb running for about 5 now. Grand Valley is moving in nice symmetrical chunks, 10, 10, and now 5 on this one.
Well, Chris Robinson comes into this game a little banged up last week. He missed most of the game with some banged up ribs, got hit really, really hard, and he's got a protective cage wiring underneath that jersey right now. But the kid from Ovid Elsie has been such a great leader for this team and such a phenomenal running back for Grand Valley. A few weeks ago at Findlay, having just an amazing game, breaking the record, 263 yards rushing, and it's good to see him back his last game here at home at Grand Valley.
Kind of interesting defensively that they're playing with a man shading over the top of Jamie Potts, who got thrown out of the pile there at the end. But Robinson has a first down, I believe, at the 45. That time, though, Bob, it was kind of a nice look from the Tiffin defense. You had 21 Sean Scott looking like he was going to press, but he released and went right after the runner. The problem was he didn't really make the tackle. Wonder if Grand Valley will notice that and decide if they see something like that again in a run situation, maybe fake it to the back and try to get Jamie Potts one-on-one with the safety who's trying to catch up. This time Heath has got a lot of time to throw, usually makes good decisions. Well, that time, I'm not sure if he was intending that one for Potts or if he was going for somebody else who was in the area. What's your call on that one, Bob?
Yeah, he had Justin Wright coming over the top. It's just a couple of receivers really in the same area, and it looks like his head is over to the left, and he's looking for Potts the whole way, absolutely. And just Potts, he's thinking he's going to make a Grakowski catch that Grakowski made from Tom Brady last week near the end zone and just threw it behind him, and a bad decision. You never want to throw late or behind your receiver down the middle of the field.
That's a good cutback by Chris Robinson. He bounces it outside and will get the first down. He's out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Boy, that should have been maybe a 2 or 3 yard play. And then you see at the end of the play, one of the Tiffin defenders getting up a little bit slowly. And that was problematic. And I think that was maybe Dexter, the linebacker, getting up slow.
Both Mike Covington and Sean Scott, both right there, able to make the play, and both of them missing on that play. Just a great job. Chris Robinson lowering his pad level, not letting them get to his legs, and this kid is unbelievable. The power, the speed, and the quick feet that he has.
Oh, and there's Jamie again, leaping, taking it 2 hands away from the body, an easy catch for him. And once he gets his hands on it, it stays gotten.
You and I have talked about this for 2 or 3 years, about throwing over the middle in short situations to the tight end of the running backs and even the wide receivers, and they seem to be doing that today with a lot of success at moving the chains. Not looking for the big play, running 4 seam routes and trying to throw to the outside, but just methodically trying to take advantage of the athletes that Grand Valley has over the middle, and the great decision making by Heath Parling and the success they're having today is really evident of that.
Well, Chris Robb didn't make the catch the first time, and he really took a sock right in the chops from DJ Edwards-Stewart. Nice play by DJ, who is a junior from Utica, Michigan. So we've got some players on the Grand Valley side. Jack Sauber, I think, is a Utica guy, and that's a very fertile area down that way. I think that's Macomb County down there, and people down there play some really good football, a lot of big schools, and every year we see 6, 8, 10 players from Grand Valley from that area, and now we see one lining up for the other side.
Well, you saw on the replay just a miss from Heath Parling to Chris Robb, but if that play had been caught, I think Chris Robinson would have been able to avoid that big hit.
The second down carry provides Grand Valley with a little bit of cushion. That's about a 5.5 yard carry for Robinson. So it'll be third and about 5 to go for the Lakers, who may be in 4-down territory right now. We're down to 5:38 left in the first quarter. Grand Valley on the Parling to Brian Moran touchdown pass on top 7-0.
You mentioned being in 4-down territory. Last week, Grand Valley in their first couple of drives against Ashland had an opportunity in that deep zone at 4th and short to kick field goals. You wonder if they're going to probably give Skipper an opportunity to kick today if they do not get first down.
What's nice about this performance by Grand Valley, they're going into the win here. Some pressure on Parling. He gets away. He's got room. There's nobody that knows the quarterback is running with the football, and he will get in for the score.
Look at that.
Well, Heath Parling deserves that one because he gave up a sure touchdown on the previous drive, Bob, when he threw that little toss to Moran. But Parling stepped up, and again, Matt Mitchell told me today, he said, we're going to run a little bit with Heath. We've got a few plays. We have to do it out of necessity. We don't have any backs back or left over. And I think for Tiffin that time, well, I'm going to guess on this one a little bit. I couldn't really tell who it was that missed him in the backfield, but it was all over after that, and now it's Skipper on for the extra point attempt. And he belts it through. Lakers on top by a couple of scores here. Grand Valley 14, Tiffin nothing today on Xfinity and the Grand Valley Sports Network.
If you sign up for DirecTV's latest deal, prepare to be blindsided. Because they'll double your rate before you know it. And you'll find you're locked into a 2-year contract that could cost you over $3,000. That's why the smart choice is Xfinity. You can see all the best action in football all season long, with no surprises. Don't get blindsided by DirecTV. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Well, in his final game in Allendale, Heath Parling's got it going right now. A touchdown toss, a touchdown run, 22 yards. We were speculating, Bob. We think that might be his longest touchdown run as a Laker.
Well, you mentioned it talking to Coach Mitchell. They got some runs set up for Heath Parling today, trying to take advantage of the pressure that Tiffin likes to do on the outside. When you have man-to-man coverage on the outside and the pressure comes up front, if he can break that first string of defensive front with the man-to-man defense on the outside and them running off the receivers, allows a lot of running room for your quarterback.
Iadarosa gets this one off. Tiffin tried kind of a trick play last time. They're going to do it again, and boom! The third guy to handle the ball there, Tony Shedd, got blistered by Jack Sauber. And let's say it again for the folks down there in Shelby Township. He's from Utica Eisenhower, a senior, and we're going to go back and do a drive summary of that last bit of action for the Lakers. We saw Chris Robinson break a tackle right here, and you're right, he got past Deshaun Scott. Later, Jamie Potts over the middle against Sean Scott, and then Parling, who got away from the defensive back there and raced into the end zone, went airborne. And now the Lakers have 14 in the first 10 minutes. Pipkin really wasn't slowed down that much by Grand Valley. He had a drop that ended his first drive, so we could be looking at a shootout here in this one. And this is Pipkin on the choice option, going to run it for a first down and maybe more. Well, a little bit more, maybe a yard more. He got about 11 up near the 30. Again, you don't want your defensive players not to be aggressive, Bob, but we've seen time and time again where Grand Valley just seems to overcommit a little bit from the outside, leaving these smart quarterbacks to pull the ball back out and have a lot of space to run it.
Yeah, that's a read option right there, and you wonder whether or not that's an automatic read because Pipkin makes that read so quick and gets to the outside very well. I mean, a big kid at 6'3", 205 pounds. Usually at this level, and you see an athletic quarterback that can run like him, it's 5'10", 5'11", but being at 6'3", 205 pounds, he's a big kid and can throw the ball really well.
That's a very nice throw for a completion and about a 7-yard gain. Good long throw on the long out. The receiver that time was Pedro Correa. Correa with his 37th catch of the year. So Correa with the long locks that cover his number partly. Looks like Troy Polamalu out there. He gets a big chunk of yardage, 8 on second down or first down, so it's 2nd and 2.
And you talk about the talent that's in the GLIAC. Here's a kid that's 6'1", 200 pounds from Florida. I mean, the GLIAC is really getting some good athletes all over the place.
We used to see players like that years ago. A guy would be like 5'6", 155 that didn't pass the eye test. But these guys now do pass the eye test. That's a first down on the catch by Tony Shedd. So they move the markers again, and Grand Valley, like we said, never really stopped Tiffin on the first drive. Tiffin did stop itself when Pipkin could have run for a first down, threw instead, and then had Byram, his best receiver, simply drop a ball when he was wide open in the middle of the field.
Yeah, Tony Shedd with that catch. Another kid, 6'1", 190 out of South Bend. Another 6-footer, and their other receiver, number 80, Tyler Jones, a 6-footer out of Akron, Ohio. I mean, back in the day when we saw these athletes moving around and trying to catch the ball, they were 5'9", 5'10". Now you got these big wide receivers, big athletes all over the Great Lakes Intercollegiate Athletic Conference.
Well, Jack Sauber closed very quickly. It's a nice tackle made by Jack after the completion to Marcus Byram. Pick up on the play of about 4. That's the play that we've talked about, Bob. Sometimes when you see 3 receivers to the top, it doesn't appear as though there's a guy playing over the middle receiver. Now, Sauber read that pretty quickly and got up. But when you have an athlete like this, he's going to make the catch pretty easily. And if he gets into his 2nd or 3rd stride, it's going to be a tough play for the defense.
And that's a read Pipkin's making right at the line of scrimmage, looking for that uncovered receiver.
Well, they throw the screen out here, and they got out and made the block, and look out, Grand Valley. Racing down the sideline is Jordan Nobles, and he's out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Grand Valley got somebody out there, but I think it was actually the left tackle, David Castorina, who got out and got enough of a rub. Well, he makes the block at the line of scrimmage. Who was at 74 that got out there, the offensive lineman for Tiffin. That's Lorenzo Lepe, and he got just enough to make that play work.
Great coach by Gary Goff, his 4th season here at Tiffin, and his staff. Grand Valley trying to bring pressure on the outside, and they just fake it to one side, move Grand Valley to the other side, and make a good play.
Deep and down the middle, good coverage that time. The Lakers had 2 guys in the area, but Devontae Jones really did the lion's share of the work against Shedd that time, with Sauber coming over to help out.
The one thing that Coach Mitchell and his staff said, that this kid Pipkin does a great job making decisions, great job with his feet, throws the ball really good in the short yards, but really doesn't throw the ball downfield as well as some of the quarterbacks they've seen in the past. So if Grand Valley can bring pressure, put some pressure on the wide receivers and force Pipkin to throw deep, that's where Grand Valley, I think, will have most of their success.
Sort of comparable, I would think, athletically to Jennings, the quarterback from Saginaw Valley a year ago.
Great example.
Top player in the league. This time, Grand Valley's coming with a heat. Pipkin, I thought, did a great job of not fumbling there, because he looked one way quickly, and when he looked back, he looked right into the face of coverage.
I think that was going to be a quarterback draw. I think they were going to fake to the outside, a play that they ran earlier on their own 20-yard line where they had great success, and Pipkin ran for 11 yards. On that play, Pipkin, as soon as he brought it down and tried to run, great pressure from the outside from Grand Valley. Mosley leading the charge on that one.
Well, that was almost like the Mark Sanchez New York Jets seat fumble when he ran into his own guy. I looked to see who made the first contact, and it was his running back who was trying to get into the hole, who just got shoved backwards right into him. 3rd and long. Big play for the Lakers here to get off the field. And now another timeout taken here by the Dragons. They used their 2nd here in the first half. Bob, the reason this is so big is because if Grand Valley gets the ball back now, they're going to have they'll run a couple of plays and have the win for the remainder of the first half with a 14-0 lead.
Well, that's important too. And then the other thing too, Grand Valley, we talked about last week against Ashland, having a tough time getting off the field on third down, whether it be 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 12. Ashland had a lot of success making plays on third down. I think they were about 16 out of 22 on third down conversions. Coach Mitchell said last week in his press conference, hey, we forced them into 22 third down conversions, so we were doing a good job on 1st and 2nd down. We just couldn't get off the field on third down. So if Grand Valley can force a play here to make Tiffin punt the ball and get the ball back, like you said, not only will they get the ball back, but they'll also give their defense a rest. Grand Valley's front four right now very depleted, defensive front as far as injury goes, and they're bringing in, like we talked about last week, Alton Voss as a defensive end from a tight end position to give depth to that defensive line position. So big play here for Grand Valley.
This looks like the dime package to me, Bob. Only 3 guys out there, the 2 wide pass rushers, Mosley and Judon, and Frank Buenzi in the middle. But after that, 8 lined up outside looking for the pass and trying to prevent a completion here for a first down. Mosley got a surge, and that's just a drop. And that was probably, in my mind, not a great decision by Pipkin, because that play's going nowhere even if his guy does catch it.
A quick decision, and Grand Valley only rushed 2, left Frank Buenzi back as a spy. The big fella spying Pipkin, which was a great call for Grand Valley, not allowing him to be able to make the first down with his feet.
Please, if we have one wish to use today, let us see Frank Buenzi get the ball upright, just to see some punishment meted out by the big fella. It's been a long time since that guy has handled the football while upright.
What a great addition he's been, though, to the Grand Valley front four that they've needed, some run stopper. He's done a great job the last couple of years.
Williams lets this one sail out of bounds at the 11. So after the kick, it's only good for about maybe 30. And Grand Valley will have it 1st and 10. Lakers would like to at least move the chains once here to force Tiffin to play into an ever-increasing breeze in Allendale for the remainder of the first half. But it's been a good offensive performance by Grand Valley, and we knew that Grand Valley would like to run the ball coming in against a smaller defensive front of Tiffin. They've run it pretty successfully, and Parling, for the most part, has not faced a tremendous amount of pass rush pressure.
Being down on that field in game time, this place is kind of like a wind tunnel when you get down there. When that wind goes northwest, it really is breezy down there.
Grand Valley's going to go with Robinson, who broke a tackle at the line of scrimmage and gets it out to the 19-yard line. Great run by Chris Robinson, and boy, Gary Goff and his staff, they've got that one drawn up perfectly. They've got somebody coming from the outside, but they do not wrap up on Chris Robinson. Ooh, great fade. What a stiff arm is right.
He does not look like a guy that's banged up and hurting with the ribs. He looks fresh as the day is young. He's running the ball really well, and he gets a quick breather with Dorsey coming in at tailback position. But see Rob looking really, really good today.
It was Mike Covington, the linebacker from Columbus, who felt the wrath of the arm of Chris Robinson, and it's a big gain for Grand Valley because they need to tilt the field a little bit here. Now a big shift going on, and my guess is we'll probably see Dorsey here. Instead, Parling's looking to go. Waits, makes the intelligent throw. It's caught for a first down for the Lakers, and it was Joe Worth, his 17th catch of the season, up near the 25. The clock stops as he goes out of bounds, which probably is not what Grand Valley wanted. I thought Parling might tuck it there, Bob, and go.
I'll tell you, what a great play right there, though. It's very rare that you see 3 tight ends in a route. You see Moran, you see, who else was there?
I think that
Worth was out in that route.
And Warner?
And Warner. 3 tight ends running, 1 on the drag, 2 on the out, and then you had on the outside Potts going deep. And a great decision right there by Heath Parling, just taking what the defense was giving him and getting that first down.
Yeah.
But 3 tight ends out on a route. That's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
I think Heath is going to call timeout here. Grand Valley got the play in a little bit late. 1 on the shot on the play clock and 10 on the game clock in the first quarter. But other than that, that's the only real blemish against Grand Valley so far. They got to stop. They got to break on the drop ball early, and their 2 offensive drives have been almost letter perfect, and Grand Valley is moving the ball again here, up 14.
Well, we talked about it last year, how much success, and here's the first quarter that we'll see some of the success that Grand Valley has had. Keith Parling throwing really low.
Look like a baseball pitch there, you know. You're ahead of the hitter 0-2, and you want to throw one low into the outside.
You see Heath shaking his head.
And then Parling with this run right here, and the best wheels we've seen from Heath in a long time.
Could have had 2 rushing touchdowns to start the game. But last year, the balance that Grand Valley had in the last couple of years where they were basically averaging over 200 yards, both passing and throwing, we're seeing a lot of that tonight right now. Great balance offensively, both the run and the pass, and that's what Grand Valley needs to be successful. And give credit to this offensive line. We talked about it early in the game. 6 different offensive set with guys moving around, and these guys are doing a great job not only protecting Heath, but moving the football on the ground.
You know, I have to give a special nod to Aaron Cox. We haven't even talked at all about anything happening badly with Potts going long. Instead, Parling comes back this way, and it's caught for a first down. Brandon Bean is at the 36-yard line. He wanted Potts long, came back, not really in the flat, but kind of a long out to this side, Bob.
And Brandon Bean, what a great job for a young receiver to coming back to the football. Heath Parling got this ball out late to the outside, and I was a little nervous when I saw this throw originally. That is a tough ball where a defensive back has a lot of time to see it, and he does a great job of seeing that.
Quarter ends. We're coming back with more on the Grand Valley Sports Network.
Many of our customers are repeat customers. Once they travel with Cardinal, they come back time and time again.
Our drivers are the best in the industry. We have so many positive comments about our drivers.
Cardinal Bus, 85 years of safe, reliable, worry-free transportation. Call us at 800-348-7487.
When cold refreshment calls, Coors Light answers. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
I was only 18 when I was diagnosed with cancer. I went from being an active, healthy teenager to becoming very sick very quickly. But thanks to the collaboration between researchers and my oncologist, I survived, and I'm now in remission.
We were curious, could a checking account help fight cancer? We'll give $150 to Stand Up to Cancer and $150 to you when you open a new checking account with direct deposit and make 3 online bill payments at Fifth Third Bank, the Curious Bank.
First play of the second quarter, the first 15 went exceedingly well for the home side, wearing black today and now moving north to south with the breeze. Parling, play action with time, waits and waits a little too long and finally shovels it off to Robinson. But I think this one's coming back possibly on a hold. I didn't see anybody illegally downfield, Bob. What's your guess on this one?
A hold, exactly. I think that they're a late rush and someone trying to protect his quarterback, which isn't the worst thing in the world. And you see the big fella.
Might be Jim Walsh, who would look a little bit guilty.
But he had Camille Jackson running wide open down the middle of the field. Camille had separated himself, but Heath Parling just didn't have the protection.
78 offense,
good call,
5-yard penalty, first down.
What I said, though, is I didn't see anybody down the field. Let's see if we can find Jim Walsh here. Where is he? Where is he? Oh, he's a little bit, he's not very far down the field.
He stopped at the 40-yard line, and the play started at the, 37-yard line. You're allowed 3 yards. That is a tough call.
Yeah, and you could tell by his body language, Bob, he sensed where he needed to be and where he couldn't go.
And that's a call that doesn't really happen unless it's really egregious. We're talking 6, 7, 8 yards down the field. You're allowed 3 yards. He was standing at 3 yards. Great job by Jim Walsh.
Yeah, Terrell Dorsey will get back the yardage on the first down penalty call. Actually, that play could have been worse for the Lakers.
You're right.
It could have been a sack, and they could have lost the down. But instead, they pick up 6 on first down. 2nd and 9. And I really am so impressed by Parling so far. They wanted to get the ball downfield against this team, but I think there's a feeling that Tiffin has got pretty good players on the corner. They're going to go elsewhere to try to make their bones today. Parling with time again. Good ball out in the flat. Brian Moran again. Brian Moran for a Laker first down near the 50. And Matt Mitchell sprints all the way down the field to give him a pat on the back. Bob, you have to, it looks to me like he's running a nice tight pattern here. He's got the right angle for Heath and sure-handed catch.
This looks like a complete 180 offensively from what Grand Valley has done, not only this year, but for the last couple of years, where they've really tried to exploit their defenses vertically and not really taking advantage of their athletes underneath. And today, they're just being very methodical in their offense and their approach and controlling the clock, controlling the game, moving the chains, and attacking the defense underneath.
Grand Valley's going to run it on first down. Troy Sasick was into the game at wide receiver, his first action of the year. Young guy from Oakland County, played at Notre Dame down there. He's had some health and injury problems during his time at Grand Valley, but getting a chance now. Ball into Tiffin territory, just shy of the 48. Short pickup on the play for the Lakers. Jamie Potts came over. He almost could read lips. He was so close to the guys flashing the signals. Grand Valley shifts again. They've got Worth in there and Moran. They're both kind of like wing backs right now. Now they both step up in the line, and Potts moves back off the line of scrimmage. Grand Valley's going to run it with Dorsey. Dorsey, unbelievable upper body strength by Dorsey. I think he's got another first down. He is right near the 40, maybe just a little bit shy. He's not a guy you want to get up around the shoulders. Very much built like Chris Robinson, and he's a big load.
Kirk Spencer's the same way. All these running backs for Grand Valley, even Rattay with great upper body and lower body strength. Guys that you want to make sure you tackle down low. And Dorsey and C. Rob doing a great job right now, keeping their pad level low and getting extra yards after contact.
Well, at first I didn't think they had a very good spot there, but now where I see they put the ball down at the 40, Grand Valley does get the first down, and I think it's a fair call because I thought easily Dorsey made the 40-yard line there. Parling could be facing pressure here. Let's look to the outside. Carlton Watkins looks like he's got the inside receiver here, and he made a false move like he was coming before. And he's coming again, and Grand Valley's got the right play called. It's Dorsey running right to the spot that the defensive back vacated.
And that's another example of allowing Heath Parling to make decisions at the line of scrimmage, getting up to the line of scrimmage, calling the play, sees the blitz coming from the outside, switches the running back Dorsey to one side like it looked for protection, brings him back to the other side, seeing the blitz is coming to that side, and then runs a trap play underneath. Great job by Heath Parling.
Watkins kind of gave it away a little bit. He made that
Yep.
step forward, and then Grand Valley backed out of it. He thought maybe nobody noticed, but the same play's on. They change, and he's caught in the cookie jar.
But in games past, Grand Valley hasn't got the line of scrimmage to make that call, to give themselves an opportunity to make that audible.
Parling's changing again. He comes away from center, moves Robinson up into a protected position, hands it off to Robinson. And this time it's going to be modest yardage down inside the 25-yard line. But this is the kind of game that Grand Valley kind of had at Findlay in some respects. When they jumped out early, they controlled the ball. They weren't great at stopping Findlay in that game, but they got far enough ahead where it didn't matter.
Well, you know, Pipkin's still a great athlete, and we still got to make sure that Grand Valley continues to put points on the board and keep him off the field. And you know, what do they say? The greatest defense against a quarterback like Pipkin is keeping that offense on the field.
This would be a big, big score for the Lakers here. 4 minutes into the second half, Robinson. They're going to jet sweep it with Robinson. He's got the corner. There's people in pursuit. He got away from the first tackle. A little unusual to see that play with Chris. He's not the fastest guy that you would run that play with normally. That's more of a Kirk Spencer type player, Rattay when he was healthy. But nice to see that they're not afraid to go through the entire book trying to come up with different plays to run.
Tom, you wonder whether or not he likes that play call too either. I remember being at Grand Valley, and they ran I was a lead blocker on some plays, and one time they gave me the football running up the middle, and I didn't know how to keep my pad level low, and I got cut in half. And you wonder, like a kid like Chris Robinson who loves to run north and south, whether or not he loves that jet sweep to give him an opportunity to run east and west.
Grand Valley looking for Potts here. Potts was interfered with at the 14-yard line. You could call really almost anything there and be right. It looked like the defensive back held on him, and I believe that was Scott out there. It was Sean Scott. He just had a handful. I thought they were originally trying to go up over the top, but I think it was just an out call, trying to pick up the first down.
A really nice route. I was watching Potts on the outside, watch his breakout, and you can see not only on the break did he have his hands all over him, but he actually got into his body right before the ball got there as well. Good call by the official.
It is a spot foul there, which works out a little bit better to Grand Valley's benefit at this spot of the field. 1st and 10 at the 15 now for the Lakers, and almost 4.5 minutes gone, actually a little more than that, here in the second quarter of this 14-0 game. Grand Valley with Worth and Moran again. Moran has been kind of a go-to option early on. Grand Valley strong left, running with Robinson right up the middle. They push the pile big time. Well, we've seen some teams do that against Grand Valley this year. It's nice to see Grand Valley doing it against Tiffin here today. A pickup of 5. And Grand Valley just methodically going about its work, and some nice trapping work done there. And one of the guys who really made a good block there was Revenberg, coming from left tackle, Bob. He really got into the chest of the man he was blocking.
Well, I'm not only going to say this because I'm a former tight end, but it's really great to see. Grand Valley is traditionally in the last few years been a spread team, bringing in 3-4 wide receivers. And the strength of this team right now is not at the wide receiver position, it's at the tight end position. So they've got 2 tight ends, sometimes 3, coming in here that are not only great blocking guys, but also guys that can catch the ball, making a dual threat, keeping Tiffin on their toes.
Chris Robinson gets it, waits for his space, knifes down to about the 7. Grand Valley in 2-down territory here. They're going to need about a yard on 3rd down to get a 1st and goal situation. They mark this one just inside the 7, it looks like. So about 2 yards for that man, Chris Robinson, who gets some reinforcements on with him. Joe Robbins is back in the ball game. Potts is going to change places. Still plenty of time on the play clock for Grand Valley. So Parling's going to have a chance to look things over, maybe check out if he has to. They're not going to play it anything but safe, with Robinson going up the middle to inside the 4 for a 1st down. A little scrape at the end of that play again. I think that's one of the wideouts. It was Brandon Bean who was, as they say, finishing his block.
You like to see that, though, and I think it was, trying to think who was on the outside over there. Numbers all scrunched up on me, but a great battle on the outside. And one of the things that Grand Valley's had so much success with in the past with their running game is their wide receivers blocking downfield. And you like to see a guy like Brandon Bean mixing it up back there in the backfield.
Might have been Carlton Watkins who was out there. Grand Valley 1st and goal with Robinson still on. 3 wideouts. Potts has single coverage this time. Robinson's got it. He's met at the 3. Pretty good work by Tiffin that time. One of their best surges against the interior line. And a pickup of only about a yard that time for the Lakers as we wind down toward 8 minutes left in the half.
Aaron Cox, the center, getting his first start, slow to get up the field. Need to keep him healthy and in this ball game. But Grand Valley right now is 2nd and goal, bringing in a little bit bigger package with the tight end situation. Looks like they've got 2 or 3 tight ends in that formation right now. So great opportunity right now for play action pass.
I'm looking for Jamie Potts on the quick look in here. That wasn't so quick. They go back the other way, a wide open receiver, and it's Joe Warner with the touchdown. His 2nd of the season, but flags are down.
Defense.
It's against the defense, they say. Boy, when you give Heath Parling that much time to make a decision, he's probably going to make the right one. Let's wait for the confab here, but we saw them initially wave it off.
Holding. Number 28, defense.
It's against the defense, and Grand Valley
touchdown
has a score. Joey Warner
here he goes.
Has caught, I think, only 2 balls this year, but they've also been touchdowns.
One of my favorite plays as a tight end was it's a tight end drag situation. And what they do is they bring the whole formation to one side. Joey Warner lining up on the right side. Has to cut across. It's a difficult thing to do when all the whole 11 players defensively are running at you to kind of make your way through them. But it's a wide open touchdown pass and a great break.
Skipper with the kick. Grand Valley's up 21-0 here today in the 2nd quarter on Xfinity and the Grand Valley Sports Network.
Learn something every single day at Grand Valley State University about who you are and who you can become, about where you've been and where you're going, about your goals and how to accomplish them. At the end of the day, you know what you want from life. Find it within yourself. Find it within Grand Valley State University.
Well, it looks like the Lakers of old instead of the old Lakers, Bob, today as Marco Iadarosa puts it down on the peg. The wind is not as big of a factor as we would have thought, but Grand Valley still has the advantage. But let's caution you a little bit here because Grand Valley hasn't been great on special teams this year. They've given up a couple of long ones. Grand Valley would like to make a play right here. And once again, you've got 4 back in this crazy setup. Grand Valley's going to bomb it into the end zone, and this will be a touchback. So Marco Iadarosa takes care of that bit of business. They have handed the ball off a couple of times on reverses and old schoolyard plays. We'll summarize that last drive for Grand Valley, and it was, again, very impressive. Carling getting away right here, shoveled it forward to Chris Robinson. Unfortunately, that one came back, although it was a pretty neat play to see. Later, Robinson running for a first down, and then Joey Warner drags across the tight end. The quarterback makes that happen.
Yeah.
He sells the orientation to the right and then throws
and
back
also the
left
offensive line giving him the protection to make that. That's a long developing play.
Grand Valley's coming with some heat. They overrun it a little bit, but can they chase it down from behind? They do. And it was the middle linebacker for Grand Valley, David Talley, who was coming on the blitz there, actually got back into the play.
You know, he's a kid that we haven't talked a lot about this year, but he's going to have to be developed really into a really special player, not only at the end of this year, but coming up next year. A great athlete out of Orchard Lake St. Mary's, a kid that really needs to come up strong for Grand Valley.
Boy, Grand Valley is playing with wide splits on the defensive line, and only 4 linemen that we have seen so far, and we've seen some 3 linemen sets for Grand Valley. Pipkin, draw play, sold it pretty nicely, and they pick up a little bit of yardage on the play, about 3 yards. It'll be 3rd and short. Grand Valley, oh boy, Isaiah Dunning, who I didn't think was going to be in there today. He wants to stay on. They waved off Cody Moore, who was next man up. Got down, and
these guys are warriors. I'll tell you what, that front 4 for Grand Valley, let's talk a little bit about those guys. I mean, they have played, you know, you talk about last week, I think it was 76 plays that Judon played, did not come off the field. These guys have really done a great job.
Pipkin's not going to get there. Now a decision for Gary Graff on 4th and 1 at the 39-yard line going against Wynn. I believe you got to kick it away here. You've got an offense that's shown an ability to move the football, but if you mess this up going for it, and Grand Valley scores at 28, it's probably not going to come back for you. So I think it's a good decision by the coach to play conservatively here. They got to believe they're going to get a stop at some point in the afternoon.
Well, so far they haven't really had an opportunity, and right now is a great opportunity to run a fake, and you see Daryl Talley, you know, timeout's going to be called by coach because I don't think they've seen this formation, and they did not know how to set up against this formation.
Well, even if you don't fake it here, you've achieved something. You forced Grand Valley to burn a timeout there, and it's a very good timeout taken by Mitchell. You've got all the momentum going your way. I think he's telling Matt Williams back there now, if you can't catch it, get out of the way. There's not going to be anybody to help.
Conversely, though, this gives Coach Goff and his staff another opportunity to rethink whether or not they're going to go for it. We've seen this in the past where the punt formation has come out and a timeout's been called by the defense, not sure of the alignment, and then all of a sudden you see the offense run out onto the field on a 4th and short situation. So
if he goes for it here, Bob, to me it's like going all in a poker tournament with a pretty average hand. Because if you miss, you're going home.
No,
I think they're going to continue to kick it, and they'll see how Grand Valley reacts to this. But I would say that they've got 3 out wide right. They're going to force Grand Valley to put people out there with them. Now they're going to give it to one of those big mules in the middle. Well, crazier things could happen, and have happened. They're looking to kick it away. Matt Williams is going to try to catch this one, and does at the 24-yard line. And we'll take a break and come back. It's going Grand Valley's way at the moment. Lakers 21, Tiffin nothing today on Xfinity and the Grand Valley Sports Network.
I was only 18 when I was diagnosed with cancer. I went from being an active, healthy teenager to becoming very sick very quickly. But thanks to the collaboration between researchers and my oncologist, I survived, and I'm now in remission.
We were curious, could a checking account help fight cancer? We'll give $150 to Stand Up to Cancer and $150 to you when you open a new checking account with direct deposit and make 3 online bill payments at Fifth Third Bank, the Curious Bank.
Well, it's been a tough Grand Valley season so far. The Lakers underwater at this point at 4-5 on the year. But Bob, this is the team playing smartly right now with a lot of passion and kind of the club that we expected to see all year long. When I saw Matt Mitchell before the game, he was pretty relaxed. I think he felt like his guys have not checked out. They've still played hard. They're still trying.
Absolutely. I was out at practice on Tuesday and I had an opportunity to talk to a couple of the seniors, and they said, you know, this is Grand Valley football. We're a prideful bunch, and we were really trying to play this season out, not only for ourselves to come out with a couple of victories. We want the pride of not having a season that is sub 500, but we also want to show these underclassmen what it is to be a Laker and what it is that end the season with a bunch of pride and to kind of move forward onto the next season and show these guys what it takes.
Well, Tiffin comes in with a record very similar to Grand Valley, 5-4, but both teams 4-4 in the league. But they played Walsh, Malone, and Missouri Baptist this year. Grand Valley's played Azusa Pacific, Ohio Dominican, Ferris. This is a home run ball. Can you get there, Camille Jackson? Not quite. Well, I think Matt Mitchell owed one of those to Heath Parley. Just crank it out there. Let's see how far you can go with it.
Well, how many of those have we seen this year be successful? The timing with the wide receivers on those deep routes and Heath Parling this year just hasn't been there. The success that we've had in the past, throwing the ball down the field, usually are some deep routes, sometimes over the middle, and some timing routes, but just hasn't seen the connection for those deep routes this year.
That ball sailed a little bit on Heath, who was throwing it downwind. Now he's in 3rd and long here, and he's got to make something happen. Pressure over the middle. Nice ball. Joe Robbins, first down, 38-yard line. Got himself away from Carlton Watkins, who had that play happen in football. I see this all the time, Bob. A guy goes to make a tackle. He makes the tackle, then the feet come up and like drill him in the chest.
Or the chin.
And you think, oh, man, I'm trailing on the play. And Watkins landed right on the spikes, and you could see him rolling around a little bit there. First down for the Lakers at the 38 after the catch by Robbins. Parling again. He sees something he doesn't like, splits Potts out a little bit wider to the right, and then gives it off to Dorsey. Dorsey running left. Not the real direct running style that we've seen from Grand Valley in this game, and that's no gain on the play for number 31 in black, Terrell Dorsey.
But keeping the defense honest, it's a thing that Grand Valley wants to do. They want to make sure they continue to run the ball, whether it be successful or not. It's definitely to keep that defensive honest, make those linebackers come up and leave those passing lanes open in the secondary for Heath Parling.
Grand Valley would be very happy if they could just run the clock out here. They'd like to score, but they don't need another score at the moment. Parling looking, throwing. Brandon Bean, nice catch, and a nice run after the catch, which continues on. And Bean is finally down, and you can see all of his teammates chanting his name down on the sideline as he gets to the 39.
The coaching staff up here in the booth, too, going crazy. This is a kid. He's a redshirt freshman, a good-sized kid, ran a great route right there. Right at the last second, a little subtle movement with his right hand to give himself separation from the defensive back, and a great delivery right here, as we see from Heath Parling. Brandon Bean is going to be a huge, integral part of this offense in the future for Grand Valley, and he's showing that today.
Brandon Bean had his first touchdown. Did he score a touchdown in the Ohio Dominican game? It seems to me like he did early on. We were kind of surprised by that. And that's a big first down for the Lakers. Now knocking on the door again. Parling's got time. He's got Moran. What's he waiting for? He goes back the other way. Oh, it's a wide open Chris Robinson. Oh, my goodness.
What's he waiting for? He's waiting for his running back coming out of the backfield.
But Brian Moran, he was looking right at him, and there was nobody near him. So how did two guys get that wide open?
See, Rob. Well, great play action fake, and you saw Moran come underneath the formation right here, be wide open. And this is a design throwback to the running back where the linebackers get sucked in. A little underthrown, but a ball.
Moving.
Absolutely.
The head is moving. A little bit of almost kind of a wheel route there, Bob, for Chris Robinson coming out of the backfield. But Brian Moran, I mean, he was 15 yards open right in front of Parling, and I couldn't believe he didn't see him. Now Grand Valley going on top to Potts. That ball very nearly intercepted. It was broken up beautifully there by Carlton Watkins. And Watkins guessed right there. So Grand Valley now facing a 3rd down situation with 3:20 remaining. Dorsey will come in. Bart Williams, or not Bart Williams, but Matt Williams will come in. Bart Williams is still over there waving in the plays.
He'll get his chance next year. Big play for Grand Valley, though, because if they do not get this first down, they're going to have to think they want to punt the ball away and not give Pipkin a short field to work with.
I think so, too. I think absolutely One chance and one chance only here for Grand Valley at the 39-yard line. They're coming with pressure. Parling steps up. Can he go? Can he get the first down? He will get the first down. Oh, what a spin, and then the dive.
The spin slide, you don't see that very often.
He faked the slide. How about that one?
I was joking with Coach Mitchell when he told me that they'd had some design runs. That one not being a design run for Heath Parling. We'll see right here him doing a great job of using his feet. But I asked Coach Mitchell if he's worked on his slide today. There's a spin, and then here we go with the slide. Heath Parling not wanting to take any shots, knowing he has a first down, does a great job of getting down.
Heath Parling channeling the late Walter Payton with that pirouette away from trouble. And now he looks to go back to the ground here with C. Rob, and they do, and he's got yardage. He's inside the 15, close to a first down. I believe he may have it right at the 12.5-yard line. Very, very close, a pickup of 9.5 or 10. Are they going to move the chains?
Well, one of the things with Grand Valley and their quarterbacks in the past, they've been very successful at running the football. And with Heath Parling in his past couple of years, the injuries that he has sustained, they really tried to keep him away from that type of danger. So he's really not been that running threat, but it's nice to have the dual threat. Coach Mitchell said, hey, this is his last couple of games. We're going to try to run him as much as they possibly can.
This surprises me a bit. Empty backfield for Grand Valley, second and a foot. I think I'd rather get the first down and let the clock go, but let's see what they come up with. Parling waiting.
Jeez, oh man, that was the flag on that one.
Well, it didn't end that badly for Grand Valley. Probably should have been an interference call or a holding call, but again, you stop the clock. Why not run it for the first down, run out the first half? It's not really a problem. Well, a pretty good defensive play, actually.
Terry Harper all over Moran right there. And that one almost looked like he was piggybacking him as the ball was coming in. But third and short, like you said, maybe not the wisest decision. Maybe get the first down and then go for the end zone here with just about 2 minutes left in the half.
Now Grand Valley's going to move people around again. I got to believe Robinson's going right up the middle here. And now Parling's going to take the final Laker timeout of the first half with 2:05 remaining. So we'll keep it right here. But it's easy to second guess, Bob. But really, I think the prudent play there, second and inches after your guy just drived up the middle for about 10 yards would be get the first down, keep them off the field. And then thirdly, go on to score the touchdown.
Well, we talked about earlier, why not use your 3 tight end set as well to give you that option, or at least have Tiffin think that there's an option of the pass threat, which you ran successfully for a touchdown to Joey Warner earlier with the play action pass. But Grand Valley instead opting to go with a completely empty backfield with a spread offense and throwing for it. But Grand Valley, you know, give them credit, give Coach Tim Morrison and Coach Mitchell the credit. The way that they've called this game today has been phenomenal. The way they've been able to mix the pass and the run, using the underneath routes as well as trying to keep Tiffin honest with those deep routes and those safeties back. It's been a really, really successful job offensively on their game calling.
Heath Parling has had 2 long runs today. I think that last scramble was good for about, 15, I think, and he had the 22-yard touchdown run.
See Brian Moran down on the sidelines here getting looked at by the trainers, so the Grand Valley's going to be short one of their tight ends.
Well, I think everybody in the world knows where this is going right here. It's going up the middle with Chris Robinson as Grand Valley tries to pick up the first down, and they will get the first down. Maybe, I think so. Down near the 11, it looks to be, and then Grand Valley getting into it at the end of the play again, and it's just a ridiculous deal here. Brandon Bean jumps up. He's hoping it's not against him. He doesn't seem to be too worried about it.
His body language seems to think that it's going to be against Tiffin.
He was clapping his hands when he got up. He was down on the bottom. And now the officials are going to sort it out. The referee's not looking like he's marching Grand Valley's direction.
Looks like they're calling third down again.
It's first down, and it's going to be against Grand Valley. You saw Parling. He was shaking his head.
The play, unsportsmanlike conduct, 80 on the offense. 15-yard
It's a very,
penalty.
very ill-advised play. And Grand Valley, after going through this last week, you would have thought everybody would be on their best behavior. And that's the second or third time we've seen it, Bob, so far.
Well, it's a tough call against Grand Valley. Brandon Bean trying to block downfield, giving a little bit extra effort, but he's got to be smarter than that and realize that this play is a third and short situation. It's going to be a quick play. There's really no reason for him to mix it up in the end zone.
Now, he got a huge break because it was a dead ball. Grand Valley got the first down, but now they back up to the 27. I mean, you're blocking in the end zone on a play that's designed to get 1 or 2 yards.
Exactly.
That's gratuitous. You don't need to be doing that. Down inside, 2 minutes remaining in the half. Parling with a little bit of time now Throws it across, and again it's dropped, and that time it's Joe Robbins. Ball, tried to catch it away from his body with the hands up. It was in a little bit of a tough spot, but that ball has to be glommed onto.
That was a perfect pass right there. You're getting chased by the defensive back, Alexander, and just him turning his head just a little too quick and had room to run as well. And just a complete drop by Joe Robbins. And Heath Parling's been really, really good today, putting the ball right on the money. It's some unfortunate drops by his wide receivers so far today.
Grand Valley's going to face the pressure here. Instead they go. It's Matt Williams inside the 5. A late hit on him, but he's got Grand Valley in a 1st and goal situation. Boy, I'll tell you, they dropped a couple of easy ones. They've made a couple of big plays on tough ones.
Here's another kid, Matt Williams, a sophomore, is going to be a big, big addition to Grand Valley's wide receiver core. He does a great job on special teams, and he does a great job right there, catching the ball, tucking it away, and getting some yards after contact. But he's going to be an integral part of this wide receiving core for years to come. And Grand Valley, as we talked about earlier this year, and really not having that deep threat with that wide receiver, has some young guys with Williams and Bean to look forward to in this offense.
Robinson's going inside. He's got to push down to maybe the 1. And this couldn't be working any better for Grand Valley right now, because the clock continues to melt away down to the final 70 seconds. Now, Grand Valley doesn't have any timeouts left, so they can't dawdle if they don't get it on this play. And I think they have to be aware of the clock situation. But with the ball marked at the 1, it's 2nd and goal. To me, I'd get up there and just go right now. Don't assume you're going to score on this play.
For 2 reasons. 1, the game clock. 2, the play clock. Give your quarterback an opportunity to make an adjustment.
Parling looking to throw to Potts. Oh, not a good idea there, because the safety was sneaking over, and I think he read the eyes of the quarterback, Bob, and got into the passing lane.
Just a late delivery by Heath Parling. That was a play that had an opportunity to be successful right at the get-go. Potts did a great job of breaking inside and getting off the line of scrimmage and making that inside move, but just a late delivery allowed the linebacker to break into that passing lane.
Grand Valley might be in a position now where they feel they have to throw again here, because they can't stop the clock. I mean, they'd have time to go on 4th down or to get the field goal team out, but those big guys want to get some push in the middle of the field. Parling, walk it in, Heath. He's going to walk it in. It's his 2nd running touchdown of the ball game. Heath Parling leading the Lakers to a big first half lead. It's Grand Valley 27, Tiffin nothing.
Tiffin selling out on that run. Nobody contained on that outside, and Heath Parling allowed to just basically walk in. He also had his tight end, Joey Warner, coming across the middle this time, deciding not to throw the ball and have an opportunity to miss that throw, and a 2nd rushing touchdown for Heath Parling.
Boy, they fake it, and everybody's caught inside. And the defensive back who sees him there he kind of continued on inside. Skipper's going to belt this one through. We'll take another break and come back for the final half minute of the first half. Grand Valley on top big here today. It's 28-0 on the Grand Valley Sports Network.
You learn something every single day at Grand Valley State University about who you are and who you can become, about where you've been and where you're going, about your goals and how to accomplish them. At the end of the day, you know what you want from life. Find it within yourself. Find it within Grand Valley State University.
Heath Parling enjoying it right now with Matt Williams. Williams is a transfer from Northern Illinois. Grand Valley's got a few of those guys. He's probably wishing he had this guy around to throw him some balls beyond this year. Parling's just been all over it today. He's got 152 yards passing, no interceptions, no turnovers, and he's had 2 or 3 very nice, very productive runs.
Yeah, only 50% completion rate. You would think, as we're watching this game, that he's been a lot more successful than that, the way he's thrown the ball. He has had some drops, but very effective throwing the ball. Grand Valley also very effective running the ball.
Big for Marco to knock this one out of the park. They're going to try to return this. No, he wanted to return it. I'm of the mind that you should always try to return it. I think what difference does it make, the 15 or the 20?
Well, especially with 36 seconds left on the clock, try to go for a big play.
And the guy that was supposed to be blocking for him was saying no, so what do? You can't really argue. Here's Parling with this pirouette right there. Oh, Felt like that one in the tape session during the week. The ball to Matt Williams after the penalty moved Grand Valley back, and then Parling goes outside. Nice job by the receiver to continue on with that play, Bob, because he dragged the defensive back all the way across the end zone with him, and that just opened up the venue for Parling. Pipkin might be able to hit a couple here, but let's see if he's going to be able to do much damage. Does that ball bounce?
Nope.
That's a completion. The clock will continue to run with under 30 seconds remaining now. I don't think that Tony Shedd is up very quickly, and I'm not sure that Gary Goff wants to even do much more. Grand Valley probably only has to defend one more play here. Get Horling backing up a little bit at the safety position, and Pipkin now is going to drop it over the middle. The receiver's going to run out of bounds. Late hit, and just about. Tally kind of let him go and got wrapped up with him. Now we're down to 8 seconds remaining, and oh boy, is it quarterback? No, it's not the quarterback.
Big offensive lineman
back there. The offensive lineman limping as he gets back up.
David Castorina getting up a little bit slow after that play, and this is like he's talked about. You may want to just kind of get into the locker room unhurt and unscathed and try to come back in the second half.
Grand Valley's coming with heat. They've got the quarterback. They throw him down on the play that will end the first half. And it was Mosley who got there along with Judon. And the first 30 minutes are in the books. And what a half of football for Grand Valley. Most impressive we've seen them this year. The Lakers on top 28-0. We'll come back with more from Lover Stadium in Allendale after this.
For about the past 7 months, Ellie's been running really high fevers, anywhere from 101 to 105. I really appreciated that when Ellie was going through a lot of her health problems that Dr. Duttler called me personally.
I think it's important for parents to know that we really care about these kids just as we would care for our own children. Access to health is really an important part of being a medical home in primary care. So we do allow our patients to make same-day appointments whenever possible. They can email me or they can call.
Ellie really likes going to see Dr. Duttler. The doctor.
Hey John, check it out.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was testing to see if we really can turn any device in your house into a TV, and the tablet worked just fine, but I wanted to see if the phone would work as well. So I shrunk Sharon.
Every channel's live just like on TV, but it's my phone.
It's genius.
Shh. I'm watching TV.
Tiny Sharon's mean.
I'm right here.
Watch any channel live on any device around your home. The X1 Entertainment Operating System, only from Xfinity.
Well, it's been a fantastic first half of football for Grand Valley here on Heroes Day. Some of the veterans being honored for their military participation and service to the country, and Grand Valley's players have provided good service for the fans and their families who are here on the final home day of the football season in Allendale. Grand Valley's had a difficult time. Last year, Grand Valley won all of its home games. This year, the Lakers have had a couple of setbacks. But today it's 28-0 with Heath Parling and Chris Robinson leading the way. Lots of different contributions, and Grand Valley winning the battle with Tiffin here with 4 first-half touchdowns. We see Tim Selgo on the left, and Grand Valley President Thomas Haas there in the white sweater, braving the elements as some of the people that are being honored make their way down on the field with some alumni band members who are here as well. Herman Schaub down there today being honored for his service to the country, and our congratulations to him. We're glad to see him up and well and at the football game enjoying the action today. The band will be out shortly. We're going to take another break. We're going to come back with more from Allendale, Michigan in just a bit.
Did Do you know that community leaders had to raise $1 million before the state would approve Grand Valley?
They did it with the Buck a Brick campaign. People gave bucks for bricks to raise the money.
Do you know what those bucks bought? Outstanding academics.
A winning tradition.
Places and spaces to learn together and have fun.
A rich community that values inclusion.
A place exploding with talent.
Now is the winter of our discontent.
The bricks have built a community of over 90,000 Lakers for a lifetime.
Lakers who stay informed,
Get involved
give back,
and have Laker pride. Thanks, Tejas.
Go Lakers! Now you're part of the Grand Valley community. What will you contribute?
No matter what form your brick takes, build something for Grand Valley State, for the region and for you.
You're a Laker for a lifetime.
When you put your name on something, it means something. For over 140 years, Coors Banquet's been brewed in one place, with pure Rocky Mountain water and the best high country barley. And someone with the name Coors still tastes our beer every week, making sure it tastes as good today as it did in 1873. That's something we're proud to put our name on. Coors, the banquet beer.
The Meyer Honors College comprises about 1,000 highly motivated students who are in all majors across the university. They're involved in critical thinking and action as well, in the university community, to the community at large, and throughout the world.
The campus is beautiful, and just the all-around atmosphere is amazing at Grand Valley. We have very friendly students and faculty and staff, and everybody just wants to play their part as a Laker.
I would recommend the Honors College because of the experience. It's unique, it's a challenge, but it's definitely good to help develop your own personal skills as well as broaden your mind.
It's a comfortable living space that promotes community and encourages engagement with the faculty. And that kind of space really facilitates the success of the students that live here. It's a community that's focused on engagement, and it encourages you to reach out to the faculty who oftentimes have offices just downstairs, or your advisors who are just a couple hundred feet away.
The folks leading the Honors College, they are phenomenal at taking a personal investment and helping students achieve all that they can while they're at Grand Valley and beyond. They take very seriously cultivating students to be successful, both academically and professionally.
You can work individually with faculty and research. There are all sorts of means of really connecting with people and getting those personal relationships as well as a very, very high quality education.
We care a lot about our students, and there's so many opportunities here as well. Opportunities for students to engage in study abroad, to participate in internships, experiential learning, and plus we have world-class group of scholars who are here, brilliant scholars who really care deeply about their students.
One of my favorite things about Grand Valley is just the amount of opportunities here. You don't even have to look that hard, really. You just go into an office and say, hey, this is what I want to do, and you've got all of these options in front of you, and it's wonderful.
I heard about Grand Valley through the rowing team, and we started looking into the faculty that teach here, and it turns out that they're from some of the best universities around the whole nation. I'm continually astounded and humbled by the caliber of the faculty that teach here and the sincere interest that they have in the success of their students.
I chose Grand Valley because it had a great academic tradition. I had a great opportunity through the Honors College to really build my critical thinking and leadership skills in a way I don't think I would have had anywhere else.
Grand Valley's growing reputation will really have a strong impact on where I'm able to go with my life. I plan to go to medical school, and I know we do have a good track record of sending students to medical school.
There's no doubt that through your experience in the Honors College, you become connected with some of the brightest students and faculty, and being exposed to those kinds of people help you to push your own horizons.
It's a real privilege to be here and work with some of these students because they're highly motivated. They're out shaping their world while they're here, and then when they leave, what they do is amazing.
Gotta go! I'd like to welcome you to our basement. I'd like to read a brief statement. We, the Hubacher family, are pleased to announce today that we've acquired the following players: Buster Posey, Mike Trout, Yadier Molina, Bryce Harper, Derek Jeter, and Miguel Cabrera. We believe that this demonstrates, once again, our family's unwavering commitment to assemble the very best team in this neighborhood.
Mr. Hubacher, you've really upped the ante here. How do you expect the other families in the neighborhood to respond?
Well, the Harris family's gonna be none too pleased.
Word is the Harrises are putting together quite a team of their own. Any concerns?
Under Cliff Harris's mismanagement, they already used up all their wall space with a bunch of paintings. I mean, really, come on.
Dad.
I know.
Start building your own dream team at fathead.com.
All right, it's halftime. The Grand Valley Band performing, many of the great senior performers at home for the final time, and a lot of those folks were able to be introduced here before the home crowd. Their contributions never overlooked by the Laker faithful, and especially not by the guy in charge of the athletics department here at Grand Valley, Tim Selgo, who joins us right now. It's overwhelming, really, Tim, when you see what this band has grown to in terms of numbers. And, I mean, they take up the entire playing field.
Well, we have close to 200 members of our marching band. John Martin, the director of Laker Marching Band, is tremendous. He's just been outstanding for our school. It's great for us. Not only do the marching band perform here at football games, or the pep band performs at basketball games, but we have a pep band for volleyball games. I don't know many schools that do that, Tom. The pep band was there at the volleyball game this afternoon in a final home game for our volleyball seniors, which they defeated Wayne State 3-0 as they head into their conference championship next week. As tied with Ferris right now for the #1 spot in the conference. Ferris is playing as we speak, but the band is tremendous. A lot to Laker spirit.
Well, it's a lot of other things going on as well this weekend. We know that Jeff Hostler and the soccer team will play for the GLIAC Championship tomorrow in what should be a scintillating matchup down in Columbus against Ohio Dominican, the only team to defeat them earlier this year. But a great moment, Tim. Why don't you explain some of the different colors that we see out here today? It's not just blue and white. We see a multicolored cornucopia of musicians out there. And who are these folks?
Well, it's Band Day, and John Martin invites members from high school bands to come join us today. Quite a few of them out there, of course. Not bands as a group per se, but individual band members of high schools around the area are welcome to come and perform with our band. And certainly, of course, we hope they'll come to Grand Valley and be a part of the Laker Marching Band in the years ahead. So it's a great show, once again, by our marching band. And as you mentioned, Tom, you know, our women's soccer team will play tomorrow against Ohio Dominican down in Columbus, Ohio, for the GLIAC Championship. Ohio Dominican got us 1-0 at our place a few weeks ago. So Laker soccer team has been playing great all year, and last two victories 5-0. So we'll hope they'll stay on the attack, do a great job tomorrow. I also have to throw out a big congratulations once again to the Grand Valley cross country teams. Both the men and women won the GLIAC Championship today down at Tiffin, Ohio. And congratulations once again to Jerry Baltus and his assistant Aaron Watson for a dominating performance again. Just doing a terrific job with our cross country program, and those kids are just fantastic. So they got a week off next week, then they got NCAA regionals in 2 weeks from now.
There was some talk in the press box before the game about the women's race today. Did I hear correctly? Grand Valley runners finished first, second, third, and fourth in the league meet.
We did. We had the top four, and then I believe Kendra Foley was the individual winner. And then I think we had another player, runner close by for another dominating performance for Laker women. Again, they've got 2 weeks to get ready for NCAA regionals, and then 2 weeks following that, the national championship will be down in Louisville, Kentucky, NCAA Division II Fall Festival. So our hopes are that they'll continue to pick up speed and gain momentum for the next 4 weeks.
Louisville's been a lucky place for Grand Valley. One final comment here from you, Tim. I want to talk a little bit about the football season. It hasn't been the greatest of years, and people have said, hey, what's happening with Grand Valley? And I've pointed out 5 top 25 opponents this year. And you look at a school like Wayne State, for instance, just the luck of the draw, did not play Ohio Dominican this year, did not play Ashland, did not play Ferris State. Now, you can't legislate against that. Sometimes it's just a perfect storm, and that's kind of what Matt Mitchell's crew ran into this season.
Well, it certainly is. In the history of our football program, we've never played 5 top 25 programs during the regular season. A couple of those, especially early on, Azusa Pacific and Ohio Dominican here, boy, those, if we could have gotten those, you never know what would have happened, but it is what it is. And but our guys have hung in there. They've persevered. As tough as it could have been, they've hung right in there. And I'm proud. I'm proud of these seniors. They've done a great job since they've been at Grand Valley. And I'm going to tell you, every one of those seniors we announced out there as we were announcing our seniors, Tom, they've all had surgery of some sort. And so they've persevered. They've learned a lot of lessons. And we got to finish it out here tonight in the second half, then go over to Saginaw next Saturday and come away from there with a big victory. And while it's not perhaps what we've all become accustomed to here at Grand Valley, I can tell you, there are a lot of good teams in our league. The parity in our league compared to 10 years ago is significant. And so we're going to have to go to work, and I know we will, and come back strong next year.
And it could still be a winning season, and certainly Grand Valley fans are interested in seeing that.
And not only that, at the end of the season, Tim Knott has told me that we will have the second strongest schedule in the country this season. We've not had that before in the regular season. It's taken its toll on us, but our guys are hanging in there. So got to finish it out tonight first.
Tim, thanks for being with us. We'll see you when basketball rolls around. Tim Selgo, the athletic director of Grand Valley, and we'll take a break and return with more from Allendale after this.
As a senior in high school, didn't really know what to expect, but when I stepped in Grand Valley's doors, the atmosphere and just the level of competition and intensity here was unmatched across the board to other schools I visited.
Before coming to Grand Valley, I used to see Division II teams play on ESPN, and I said, I want to do that. Knowing that I know the following year I'll be playing in the national championship game.
He's at the 50, he's at the 40, he's at the 30, he's at the 20, 10, 5, and it's a touchdown, Lakers!
Of course, I'm playing at a broader scale right now in the NFL, but just the pure passion that the fans came out into Lovers with every day is unparalleled.
There's really an acceptance. You're part of a club, being a part of this team, and you're part of it for life. It's not a 4-year thing. You're a Laker for life.
People around the nation know when you hear Grand Valley State, usually think of they're playing for a national championship, or they're in the playoffs making a deep run, or winning their league even.
A lot of guys play college ball, Division I, and never get to play for a national title. Here you get to play for a national title. You're always going to compete for it here at Grand Valley.
When I came here, they explained it as a big school with a small school feel, and that's exactly how it felt to me.
Obviously the school's grown tremendously in the last 10 years, but you still have the small town feel, and everyone's a family, just a nice community. It's a great location. Grand Rapids 20 minutes away, the beach 20 minutes away.
It's not overly crowded, but at the same time there's enough people where you're getting that life experience of being around a lot of different kinds of people.
Grand Valley, I've always known, is a prestigious school. It really is. The best education. You're going to get a lot of one-on-one time. The professors here are amazing.
I would say you're going to get a great education, B, you're going to have a great experience playing football, and it's going to lead to a lot more success than just playing football. It's going to lead into your professional career, prepare you for the real world, because there is life after football.
and that's something you have to prepare for, and they do a tremendous job of doing that.
I mean, you definitely want to be somewhere where you feel like you can contribute to something that's of a greater cause, and Grand Valley is that. You can see by looking around here on the walls of the great players that have came through here, and the Directors' Cups and multinational championships that not only football but other sports have accumulated.
But I actually felt good that I came to a place that actually wanted me for who I was. They just wanted me as an athlete, and they felt that they can sculpt me and mold me into the player that I am now.
Here, it's the best Division II school in the country for football.
Every day in practice was a grind. The competition level is high.
The people that they bring into this program are some of the best athletes that can be recruited around here. So if you're one of those lucky guys that gets a chance to come here, I'd take full advantage of it.
The coaches were phenomenal, I think. You're in the moment, you think coaches are hard on you, this and that, but they really taught you some life skill lessons.
The coaches here are really great. They're going to teach you discipline. You're not even going to become a better football player. You're going to become a better man, a better student.
I learned the true value of hard work, discipline, how to be accountable as a human being.
That's kind of what geared me and tailored my mindset for the NFL, and I believe that's why I've made it this far in my career. I'm going to year 6, and that's all because of the things I was instilled and learned here at Grand Valley State.
These guys I played with, they're still my best friends, the coaches, they're still my mentors.
Ever since I've been gone, they've been extremely supportive. I can call and talk to these guys anytime.
It's not just everybody moving on after you're done playing here. You stay in touch with everybody, coaches and players alike.
I come back every offseason. I train here. I train in the indoor facility, and they're great to me there.
At the end of the day, it was a family here. It was a family atmosphere. It was a brotherhood. You could talk to any coach, they would respond to you. And then when it's time to go play, it's that much easier to go out there and play for the man next to you, your coach next to you, because we're just all inclusive, all brotherhood here.
The family atmosphere, the chance to win a national championship, the fun that you have here, it's truly something that any college student would want to be a part of. And a bonus is being a Grand Valley football player where the program and the tradition here is so unbelievable.
There's nothing like playing for Grand Valley. There's so much pride here. You have the best coaching staff, you have the best facilities of Division II, and the best education you can get.
I worked this hard to get to this level, but I never forgot where I came from, and Grand Valley was the right place for me, and it gave me this push to get to the NFL and to be a Dallas Cowboy now.
Grand Valley is prone to do bigger and better things, and this is only the beginning.
Many of our customers are repeat customers. Once they travel with Cardinal, they come back time and time again.
Our drivers are the best in the industry. We have so many positive comments about our drivers.
Cardinal Bus, 85 years of safe, reliable, worry-free transportation. Call us at 800-348-7487.
All right, still a couple of minutes away from the start of second half action. Bob Mitchell has gone down onto the field. He is standing by with the happy Laker head coach, Matt Mitchell. Let's join those two right now.
Well, Coach, you can't complain about the performance of your team so far. Offense, defense, special teams have played phenomenal. Let's start with the offensive line. What a great job they've done, not only on the run game, but protection of Heath Parling.
Yeah, I mean, obviously when you run the ball, it can kind of set up a little bit more of your play action passes. And so our ability to run the ball has kind of helped Heath been able to function and kept us in manageable down and distances. So this is a completely new lineup. We got Robert out starting at center, and so happy for those guys who are playing well so far.
Talk about some of the stuff we talked about off the air, about some of the patterns and some of the stuff you're doing underneath to help you guys be successful.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously have not been probably performing offensively as well as we needed to, so we took a look at some things. I've been happy to get the tight ends a little bit more involved in some of the passing game and also some of the shorter stuff. We gotten empty and threw the ball around more effectively, and I think he's doing a better job of getting himself out of trouble too. They've brought some covers here, and he's made guys miss and is really running the ball well to quarterback position.
Defensively, you guys have done a great job. We talked about it last week, getting off the field on third downs. Pipkin, a very talented quarterback. What have you guys been done to be successful this week?
Well, I think we've kept the ball in front of us. That's the biggest thing. We've made him kind of check the ball down a little bit. And he's hurt us a little bit in the running game. Probably ran a little bit more than I thought they would coming in, but for the most part, we've been patient. We haven't been pressing too much and letting them kind of get what they get and have gotten off the field. So I think the time of possession was huge, Bob. I mean, I think that we had for 22 minutes. Really easy to play defense when you're only out there. We play 18 snaps of defense, so it's easy to call defense when that's the case.
Yeah, Your best defense is the offense on the field and keep him off the field. Same medicine in the second half?
Yeah, this is obviously, I told our guys, this is not going to end 20-0, so it's our decision here what's going to happen. And we got to come out and get stops, and we got to keep scoring, or we're going to let them crawl back in this. So this is all about us to start this third quarter, and we were getting after them pretty good because we did drop some balls and do some things and didn't play a perfect half. So we'll see how competitive, or where their competitive spirit's at, because they got to come out and finish these guys off.
Great to see Laker football again. Good luck,
All right,
Coach.
thanks. Yep.
Back to you, Tom.
All right, Bob, thank you. And thank you, Matt Mitchell, for that assessment of the first half. And really, I think we realized that Grand Valley's got to get off to a good start in the first series of downs here, because we know that Tiffin through the year has been a team that's been able to score some points. They've put up some big numbers against some pretty good teams. This is a team that beat Wayne State. It's a team that has defeated Hillsdale, and it has scored against some pretty good clubs this year. And Grand Valley is a team that they figured they'd be able to score on in this one this afternoon and this evening. We're going to take a look at some of the plays from the first half that caught our attention. This is Parling early on a ball to Chris Robinson, where he got opened up pretty good, but later Parling almost threw one away there to Brian Moran for the first touchdown. Then Heath Parling scrambling out of the pocket, going airborne for 22 yards. Makes a beautiful play here on a pass to Robinson, a shovel pass that eventually got called back. But later it's another Laker tight end scoring a touchdown. That was Joey Warner. Parling picking up good first down yardage, a scramble and a safe slide. And then this one, the roll to the left, and acres of space open on that side. Little toss to the official, and Grand Valley having it all its own way through the first 30 here this afternoon, and leading by the score of 28-0, 22-18 the time of possession for the Lakers. And look at that third down number, 7 of 7 on third down conversions for Grand Valley. Grand Valley went for 339 yards. They had a pretty solid passing game and better than expected running numbers for the Lakers, who pounded out 21 first downs in that dominant half. And we saw Antonio Pipkin, the fine sophomore quarterback, play pretty well in the first couple of drives for Tiffin. They were hurt on their first drive by a drop, and then Grand Valley got a big sack, and now you see Jamie Potts talking it over with his battery mate, Laker quarterback Heath Parling. And the idea for those two is to keep it going here over the last 30, get Grand Valley a victory in this, the final home game of the season, and then move on to Saginaw Valley next week with a chance to salvage a winning season in a year that started with such promise and then had some bumps along the way. But Matt Mitchell talking about what we've discussed, the fact that this is a team that still has a lot of pride and still wants to take defeat in a positive way, in kind of an adult way, Bob, and not just blame people. There's not been any finger pointing at all in this program, and it's the reason why Grand Valley's been able to play so well, I think, here this week, in a week where you might figure they're really down. This is a game that might just get away from them.
Well, Grand Valley's had a tradition and a history of having a lot of success, and this is very foreign to them. But you're right, the way they've taken this week and been really successful at preparing for this week just shows what Laker football is all about.
That's a pretty good return for the Tiffin Dragons on the second half kickoff. That was Biram, I believe, that took that one up to about the 35-yard line. And you see Garland Brandon, the freshman, back there on that play.
Really the only big return they've been able to muster so far today, and we talked about it at halftime. Coach said that 28 points isn't going to win this game. They know how talented Pipkin is. They're going to have to do a great job defensively and continue to score offensively.
They're going to try the short ball out here into the flat. It's caught after a bobble for a nice pickup and a 10-yard gain. It'll be a first down, I believe, for Tony Shedd. He's going to be maybe just shy. Now they move it's going to be second down, I think, at about a foot or less. You know, they hit the quick pass into the flat. It's kind of hard to get back in a game doing that, Bob,
yeah.
But this team really needs to find some confidence right now, because I think they're flabbergasted that they were so completely dominated in the first half and didn't get anything going with their own offense.
Yeah, they really haven't had any big plays offensively, which they are very accustomed to having happen with this talented receiving core with Pipkin. And Grand Valley's done a great job defensively, really bottling up Pipkin. As we see here again, the defense doing a great job forcing going to force a third down situation here right near before midfield.
That was super penetration there by Grand Valley's defensive end, Matt Judon, who got turned in a little bit, but still grabbed onto the quarterback and didn't let go, and then got some help from his mates. And that's a big play. Every little play like that takes some time off the clock. You think it's going to be an easy conversion on second down. Instead, they lose yardage. And now they're in a position, if Grand Valley makes a play or if you get an incompletion, it's a big question for Gary Goff. I don't think he can let it go too far here without taking some chances.
You're right. We talked about in the first half, down 21-0 with a fourth down and short situation, and punting was definitely the good call. But here, Grand Valley going to stop him short again in a fourth and short situation. Right back to what we talked about. It's a decision time for Coach Goff and his staff right near midfield. They've got to start taking some chances down 28 points, and I think this is one where they're going to have to really make a point coming out in the second half, make something happen offensively, and they're going to have to go for it. And Grand Valley, defensively, heck, gambled it up. Go pressure on the outside and bring full pressure on the inside.
Joe Moran made the last tackle for Grand Valley, and Pipkin, I think he wants to give himself some options. He's in the shotgun here. Is he going to take a short, safe toss for the first down? That's what he's looking for, and he's got it, and it worked nicely. But still, you throw that ball into the middle of the field, there's always a chance somebody's going to get a hand or a finger on it.
At the defensive line position as well, with that short look, a defensive lineman easily could put their hand on it. So good job right there by Tiffin making that play, but like we said, a risky play. And Grand Valley defensively not doing a horrible job so far. I mean, hanging tough. But we talked about it. These guys can move the ball and they can put some points on the board.
This is a ball out into the flat that's going to produce a big gain here. They got a great block on the Grand Valley corner. The guy that got turned inside was Dante Carey, and the catch to Tyler Jones all the way down near the 20-yard line.
Yeah, Deontay Hurst, if we get another look at this, is the one that really made the mistake on coverage right here. It looked like he was going to try to undercut the route and make a big play. We'll get a great look at it right here. There he is. And then instead, really trailing that play and not make an opportunity to make a tackle after the catch.
Boy, they sealed the corner off too there, Bob, and allowed the receiver to get to the sideline. They're going to throw it out in the flat again. Look at this play by Matt Judon. That is really something to see. Your defensive end, your big pass rusher, chasing all the way out and knocking down Marcus Byram almost before he got the ball.
You'll appreciate this. I had an opportunity at halftime to talk to Danny Richard. He's here watching his former teammate at West Bloomfield High School, the Lakers, and we talked about his opportunities this year and next year and then beyond. And Danny Richard said, hey, take care of yourself, make some plays, stay healthy, but you got a great opportunity to make some plays down the road.
Pipkin's going deep, a man open, almost another great one-handed catch, likes of which we saw from Dan Pico from Ashland a couple of weeks ago, but just beyond the receiver that time, Shed, and it goes as an incompletion. A well-thrown ball, he lays out. Wouldn't have been quite a one-handed catch, but Grand Valley had decent numbers in the area.
Great coverage on the outside, just a really well-thrown ball and almost perfectly thrown ball. The receiver just came up with it, and you talked about it last week. That incredible catch by Pico was actually on top 10 plays on ESPN on Sunday night.
Number 3 in the nation.
Unbelievable.
Catch that hurt the Lakers. Trey Walton back on coverage that time. He's a guy who's got a big future for Grand Valley. Played well earlier when he was in for an injury, and now you got people moving or a timeout taken. Clock ran down to near 0. So every little bit helps for Grand Valley. They want to see Tiffin burning these timeouts early on. We're 3.5 minutes in. Grand Valley still on top, and Tiffin just outside the red zone right now.
Well, if you're Tiffin right now, Coach Goff and his staff, it's 3rd down and 11. You don't necessarily need a first down right here. You just need to get a good chunk of yards to put yourself in position on 4th down to go for it and get yourself the first down, because right now field goals aren't going to get you anything in the red zone, down 28-0 going into this 3rd quarter. So Coach Goff and his staff right now calling the timeout, not liking either what they saw defensively or just not sure of what they want to call offensively. But you got to think, if you're your staff right now, you got an opportunity here to put some points on the board. You're still in 4-down territory.
I think Grand Valley, Jim Lewis and Nick Postma, those guys are probably reminding their players right now, we don't want to over pursue on the quarterback. We want to keep him in our sights.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep everything in front of you, not only with the quarterback, but the receivers. Let them get the 3, 4, 5 yards, make that play, and then force them to make a play on 4th down. You're right.
This is a situation, I should say, not a play, but a situation in which Grand Valley has burned some oil this year, Bob. They've over-pursued a little bit, and this guy can hurt you big time with his feet. So
or
see what he's able to do.
Or missed tackles, like Coach Mitchell talked about this week. That last week not getting off the field on 3rd down was a direct result of missing some tackles.
Grand Valley's coming with some pressure. It's a ball out in the flat. It's a perfect play by Tiffin to get the first down near the 10-yard line. And Grand Valley ganging up to make the tackle, but give credit to Pipkin. He didn't do anything wrong there. Charles Holland was the guy who caught that ball, and it was a safe throw and a smart throw. It looked like it was going to get 6 or 7, but the determination of the receiver got him close to the necessary yardage for the first down. 4th down, they say.
Yeah, they looked like they, with that great job defensively, we talked about 11 to the ball, making sure you pursue. They did a good job right there. Grand Valley bringing in their big package right now to try to stop them on 4th and short.
Grand Valley barely got, I think it was Marquez Goldman who went off for tally. They're going to keep it with the quarterback. He's going to pick up the first down. He's got a 1st and goal at the 5. Boy, if you're a Tiffin fan, that makes the heart leap a little bit because it's a play that takes a little while to develop. And if Grand Valley gets penetration, maybe they've got a chance to stop that play.
Exactly.
But Tiffin made it work.
The ball was slow developing, and Pipkin did a great job of drawing it out and then picking his shot to cut it upfield. But those slow developing plays on 4th and short really make you hold your breath on the offensive side.
Showed you Jerry Brown, who has not had a lot of action here today running the football. We didn't expect that he would, but he's had even less than what we thought. 1st and goal. Can the Lakers keep him out here? Pipkin looking, waiting. Now he's going to beat Grand Valley with his feet a little bit. Fires to the back of the end zone. Man. Nice try, but a little bit to the outside. And you saw the receiver down there, Shed, trying to manipulate his feet to be able to stay in bounds and never really quite able to get his arms around that ball.
Well, Pipkin's going to look at this one on game film and really shake his head because not only did he have Shed wide open, he had another wide receiver in the front corner of the end zone wide open, had 2 guys and just overthrew his intended receiver here. Great job of creating time and space for himself using his feet, but just not accurate on the throw.
Well, once again, Grand Valley over pursued there. Judon put on the pressure, but Pipkin got away from him. They've got to keep this guy buttoned between the ends. In a passing situation, little option play. Grand Valley's got it red. Do they make the stop? They do. Look like they might make it for a loss. Alton Voss chased out after that play, Bob, and made the tackle, helped make the tackle. So no gain, 3rd and goal from the 5.
Yeah, we talked about Alton Voss last week being a contributor on this defensive line just due to the depth and the lack thereof for Grand Valley, and does a great job right there, stringing things out and making a big play.
I'm going to keep an eye on Correa here. He is the slot receiver. Nobody over the top of him right now. It looks as though he could run to the pylon here and beat the defensive back out there. Wonder if they're looking the same way. Now they're going the other way. And now Pipkin breaks the rush, tosses. I don't know.
Yeah.
No. Incomplete. Boy, I thought Pipkin would just maybe walk it in himself.
Once again, another opportunity. He saw a wide open receiver and just kind of overthrew him just a little bit, and Shed can't come down with the ball. But you said it, Pipkin right there could have easily run for that pylon and made a play and get a great look at it right here. Just,
nope,
great call.
Never caught it. Never had it. Grand Valley trying for a stop right now. I saw that Matt Judon came off after that last play. He went down hard. I think it's just a temporary break for him. Let's see how Grand Valley tries to defend this here. I think they've just got to go with the quarterback and get him outside. So Grand Valley's got to stay in its lanes, and now the play clock runs out, and that changes everything.
Play game, tough play there for Tiffin. You really can't make that happen.
Number 2, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Well, getting a 5-yard play here is manageable. Getting a 10-yard play, in a sense, Bob, kind of takes the run or the quarterback running option out of it a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. A 10-yarder really takes that running quarterback threat out of it. Even 5 yards, though, right now gives an opportunity for the defense to pursue and make a play. So right now, if you're Tiffin and you're Pipkin, you're thinking you got to throw this ball into the end zone to make it for a touchdown.
I'm going to keep an eye on 28, Trey Walton, who's down here on Shed. He's playing him. They're going to release him to the inside, it looks like. Maybe Grand Valley zoning. Pipkin taking a lot of time. Uh-oh, he's going to get loose here. Can Grand Valley get somebody there? Now the throw into the end zone. Bounced in there, incomplete. Flag goes down, though.
We got the offensive lineman down at the 2-yard line. You're going to have a legal man downfield for Tiffin, and Grand Valley is going to hold on 4th down. Big play, great coverage downfield.
Well, the Grand Valley team starts heading off the field, and I think you're exactly right, Bob. We saw the back judge there. The guy threw it.
Number 62.
It was
Mason Butler.
First down.
What turn of events for the Lakers there to hold Tiffin out there. First and goal at the 5. They had a ball that could have been caught in the back of the end zone for a score. Another one where the quarterback probably should have tucked it and run. Instead, the Lakers take over at the 20 after Tiffin takes 5.5 minutes off the clock and comes away empty here in the third quarter.
And that's the key right there. You said it. They took that much time off the clock, and here's our defense showing big right now.
Now that's the play by Judon that we saw early in the drive. And then Grand Valley defending right here. Nice work by Goldman and Horling and those guys to keep the receiver out. Grand Valley's going to run it right up the middle for a couple near the 13, 14, maybe all the way up to the, or I should say the 24. Well, let me clarify that now. I was thinking 16. There was a touchback there. It was that Grand Valley started at the 10, at the 20, and they move it out 5 yards. So Grand Valley first and 10 get 5 yards, and the clock starts to roll again, and we've played 6 minutes of the second half. Lakers 28, Tiffin nothing here on the Grand Valley Sports Network. Chris Robinson again. Not much running left that time. Runs, well, they're going to continue the clock, but Grand Valley not really getting a lot. I want to correct something that we overlooked in the first half, was the presence of Robert Alt in the lineup at center. That was not the alignment that we had heard about before the game, but that's the way it shook out. Robert Alt replacing Revenberg. Aaron Cox actually moved into a different position, but Alt was playing at center and continues on at center. And I misstated that a little bit earlier in the broadcast, so we want to correct that and give Robert credit, one of those guys who's waited all year for his chance and played very well today.
And I should have been Johnny on the spot and correcting you on that, because he's a Detroit Catholic Central guy. And
well, that's
Coach
why you
Mitchell
didn't do it, I know, right? Because he came from that rival school.
If he's a Shamrock and now a Laker, I'm all for it.
Parling on third down here. This ball is a little bit slow, but Jamie Potts catches that about 99 times out of 100. One thing I would say about that throw, that Parling was backing up, didn't really get set and deliver the ball he wanted. So Chris Picano, another senior, back to kick, and I think it's going to be Charles Holland back at his own 45. Tiffin not getting any rush, and it's a good boot. All the way back to the 42-yard line. Holland hesitated and then was lost.
Looked like he wasn't sure if he fair caught or not.
We'll take a break right now. Grand Valley has given it back to Tiffin, but the Lakers still on top by 4 touchdowns here in the third quarter.
I was only 18 when I was diagnosed with cancer. I went from being an active, healthy teenager to becoming very sick very quickly. But thanks to the collaboration between researchers and my oncologist, I survived, and I'm now in remission.
We were curious, could a checking account help fight cancer? We'll give $150 to Stand Up to Cancer and $150 to you when you open a new checking account with direct deposit and make 3 online bill payments at Fifth Third Bank, the Curious Bank.
Okay, Tiffin getting it back for its second series here in the second half. Grand Valley went 3 and out after stopping Tiffin in the red zone. Tom Cleary along with Bob Mitchell tonight on the Grand Valley Sports Network, our final broadcast of the 2014 season. Back in 2013, we thought our last regular season game was going to be our final broadcast, Bob, and Grand Valley beat Saginaw, beat them again the next week, then went to Colorado, won a game, then beat West Texas A&M, and we kept working all the way to just about Christmas.
Didn't mind that at all.
And that was a great run for the Lakers, and that's a catch out there for Tiffin on first down. It's Pedro Correa. He of the long locks, moving up toward 40 catches on the season, picks up about 6 on that catch.
Coach Mitchell said it at halftime. He thought that 28 points might not be enough to win this ball game, and right so far this half, Tiffin Dragons have owned the field possession battle, and here they go again with a big run on second down. Grand Valley's got to do a better job, not only offensively of moving the change and taking some time off the clock, but defensively slowing down this offense.
That's Jerry Brown, the first really serious run he's had today. And one of the things I've thought about, Bob, with Grand Valley playing in kind of a nickel or a dime package here, the big wide splits for these defensive linemen, you might get a seam like that, even if you don't block it up as well as you'd like, because they're so spread across the front.
You name that, and then also you talked about this defensive line. They are thin, and getting into the second half with all the reps and all the reps that they're getting on the defensive line, they're going to get tired out.
Grand Valley got a break here. The man in motion kind of lured Frank Boenzi into the neutral zone, but somebody else also moved. So it's a false start. That'll make it 1st and 15 now, as Matt Mitchell looks on from the sideline. Boy, Grand Valley has gone with that, almost like the fearsome foursome of the Rams back in the days. You know, you've got Boenzi, you've got Dunning, who's been banged up, Judon and Mosley. They'd like to be rotating guys in, but they just are very thin right now at that position. Looks like the same play here coming up. Pipkin stepping up in the pocket. He's looking to go, and let's see if Talley can bring him down. Not so much. Not until he picks up about 12 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 3 now.
Talley does a nice job of coming up and forcing him into the middle of the direction, and that's where Moran's got to do a better job of coming up and making that play. We'll see it right here. Forces him to the outside, and we don't get a great look at Moran, but Grand Valley just cannot ill afford to let Pipkin run wild.
2nd and short situation after a good play by the quarterback. Down inside, 6.5 left here in the 3rd. It's Grand Valley 28, Tiffin nothing today from Lubber Stadium in Allendale. Little ball out in the flat, dropped out there. Grand Valley had people all over the place, so even if Charles Holland makes that catch clean, I think he would have been stopped right in his tracks. 3rd down now and 3, and certainly no question that Tiffin is in 4-down territory.
Yeah, bad drop right there, but you said it right there. Grand Valley read that really well. Had a couple of guys right there ready to make that play. I don't think that play was going anywhere. But Tiffin right now, you see the delay of game, you see a false start, you see a drop pass. These are plays that they cannot afford to make if they're going to try to get back in this ball game.
Pipkin looking out deep. Grand Valley's got coverage. Great play out there made by Jack Sauber in his final appearance before the home crowd. And he sat back there deep, Bob, and you could tell the receiver was never going to get behind him. That could have only ended one way for Tiffin, and that was badly.
Yeah, he was just out there waiting on the outside. And it actually looks like it's Trey Walton on the outside.
Oh, that is Trey. Yeah, 28. His jersey's folded up a little bit there.
The 8 is tucked in, but he did a great job sitting on that ball, and the receiver almost did a good job of undercutting that play, but Walton does a nice job of getting his hands and breaking up that play.
4th down now and 3. Keep an eye on the quarterback. Pipkin over the middle. It's complete. Oh, Horling with the hit. Timing. Knocked it away. Brilliant timing for Grand Valley. Gary Goff is wildly upset, and I think he's got a right to be, because that was as close to interference as you could have.
It is, but if you watch this again, you watch that left hand, the one thing you see is a defensive back when they come in and they wrap that left hand around and spin the defensive player around. Horling does a great job of keeping that left hand off the ball and just bringing his right hand and making that play. Huge play on 4th down for Grand Valley.
The thing I like about that is I think it's the umpire back there who's got that play, Bob, and he was looking right in at it. He knew where the ball was going, and from about 2 feet away, we'll see him here again. Take a look at the official. He turns just as the ball got there and made a decisive call.
Yeah, I mean, he got his head turned around late, but the back ref would have seen that as well, and that left hand, like I talked about, wasn't spinning the receiver around, and now Grand Valley has to move the chains.
Harling's going to throw to Jamie Potts for a 1st down right at the 36-yard line. But Jamie missed one right in his breadbasket last time. That one looks like a ball he shouldn't catch, but does.
Amazing how that happens with these great wide receivers. They make the tough ones look easy and the easy ones look tough.
This guy is pretty tough, and he's having quite an athletic career at Grand Valley. 1st team All-America last year in football and baseball. The right fielder on Jamie Detillian's very fine club of a season ago.
Only a junior.
He's going to just put it into the hands of Chris Robinson for a short gain. He's up near the 40. Give him about 3 on the play. 2nd down and 7 for the Lakers, who have been dominant. It was all offense in the first half, but a couple of stops in dangerous territory here for the Grand Valley defense in the 3rd quarter. So they've upped the ante a little bit in their game.
Well, Coach Mitchell said it at halftime. He was really impressed with the way that their offensive coordinators have called this game, really mixing it up and running some underneath stuff and mixing in the run with the pass. And you're happy to see it, but you're wondering where it was all season. But Grand Valley really doing a great job of utilizing the 3 tight end set, and a great job of Tiffin breaking on that ball. Defensive back looks like he's a little bit injured.
That ball was intended for Robbins. It looked like the defensive back was going to get out there and jump the route, and that player out there is DJ Edwards-Stewart. That's a play for me, Bob, that I don't like as much as a direct ball down the middle, more of a horizontal pass. That's such a long way to go, and there's got to be a chart somewhere for diminishing returns.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on what angle you're throwing toward the sidelines, it's got to be a big enough gain to justify that long throw on the long out. Third down coming up for the Lakers. Ball here to Joe Robbins. Nice pitch and catch. Nice spin away by Joe into Tiffin territory at the 49-yard line.
Very similar play than the last one, other than the fact that they had a double wide receiver set, bringing the outside receiver deep and bringing the inside receiver out, allowing for a little bit more room and leverage for the throw. But you're right, that is one of the toughest throws in football to make. And it's not only a tough throw for the quarterback, but the wide receiver has to do a great job of pressing that cornerback and then coming back to the ball. We saw in that last play, Robbins did a nice job of coming back to the ball, but the one previous to that, he did not really come back on his route, kind of kept it parallel, allowing the defensive back to undercut it and make that play. So it's not only on the quarterback, it's also a combination with the wide receiver making a good route.
Grand Valley's looking long
he
this
got
time. A man wide open. Chris, catch it. He did. He's into the end
Big
zone.
play.
C-Rob makes up for the one that he missed earlier.
The exact same play that we saw earlier where C-Rob dropped. That time, the defender on the play, but just can't keep up with Chris Robinson, and the ball thrown right on the spot, not underthrown. Chris doesn't have to make any adjustment, and a big play for Grand Valley, huge touchdown. And give the defense credit for setting that up, forcing Tiffin on downs to give up the ball, but Grand Valley's offense doing a great job of converting.
Well, it's 48 yards for the score, and you know these two guys who spent a lot of time in rehab together a year and a half ago became good friends, and it's just a brilliant pass and a great catch by Robinson. Skipper knocks it through. Lakers on top, 35-0. More to come here on the Grand Valley Sports Network.
For about the past 7 months, Ellie's been running really high fevers, anywhere from 101 to 105. I really appreciated that when Ellie was going through a lot of her health problems, that Dr. Duttler called me personally.
I think it's important for parents to know that we really care about these kids just as we would care for our own children. Access to health is really an important part of being a medical home in primary care. So we do allow our patients to make same-day appointments whenever possible. They can email me or they can call.
Ellie really likes going to see Dr. Duttler. Doctor.
That guy's happy right there, and of course I took it in the chops from Bob Mitchell during the break and from our friends down in the truck. Said you better clarify what you meant by rehab. There are a lot of people that have nasty thoughts floating around their head. Chris Robinson and Heath Parling came back from knee surgeries at the same time, and the other guy that was part of that group was Reggie Williams, now graduated, but that's just a lovely little toss right there. And we see the desperate try by Akeem Needham, the defensive back, come up a little bit short. Kick by Marco Iadarosa at the 5-yard line. Nice move out here by Biram, and he is out of bounds at the 35.
Coach,
let's take a look at that last drive, Bob. And we thought that Grand Valley had some problems early in the half after that knockdown right there. But then after the completion to Potts for a first down, the long toss, and suddenly the numbers looking very gaudy for Heath Parling. 49 yards officially on that touchdown pass. He's now 15 of 27 for 225 and 3 scores, and he is also lugged it in himself a couple of times. Big ball game for Heath.
Coach Mitchell and his staff are the only negative they can talk about coming out of the second half so far is just some of the yards they're giving up offensively, but the kick return yardage as well. 35-yard line starting position for Tiffin is not something you want out of your special teams, but Grand Valley right there doing a great job of tracking down the quarterback.
Alton Voss made the stop on this play, got some pats on the back, not fooled at all. Maybe that's that quarterback instinct. He was a high school quarterback himself, Alton was, and he realized that.
How about his path? I mean, we talk about a kid who's come a long way to just be on this team and then to contribute on special teams and then tight end. Now he's playing DN. What a great story he is.
He's the kind of guy who's been willing to do whatever it takes. Grand Valley's defended this pass pretty well on second down. It's a pickup of 4 on the toss to Charles Howland, who's a big wide receiver, kind of an interesting looking guy. A punt returner who's that tall, kind of like Grand Valley with Matt Williams, who's also pretty tall for that position.
Well, great job defensively, just keeping things in front and making that sure tackle, something that Grand Valley hasn't been so good at in the last few weeks. They've been able to keep things in front of, but not making the complete play and making that tackle and allowing extra yards after the catch. So far today, Grand Valley's done a great job of making those tackles.
Cody Moore has been in on the defensive line. He goes out as Grand Valley goes to the dime package here, 3rd and long. Pipkin facing pressure. Judon got held. That ball is thrown away. And no grounding. But Matt Mitchell's down there saying, boy, that's got to be a hold on Matt Judon. I mean, who's closing in on the receiver. Tiffin's going to have to kick it away, I believe, here on 4th down. That's an awfully long huddle for a punt play. I'd be wary if I were the Lakers. What do you think, Bob? Agree with my assessment
No
of holding
question
on
about
Judon?
it, man. He got tackled on the outside. Great job of pressure. Does a nice job as an inside move. Just his quickness is just unbelievable, and his strength. It's going to be freaky to watch him coming out next year, what he can do in the offseason as far as getting size and strength. But his athleticism just makes him just such an unbelievable threat.
Seth Pico on for another punt. High one. Williams is going to fair catch this one at about the 31. Easy does it. We'll take a break. The Lakers storming toward a final game of the home season victory. It's 35-0 on the Grand Valley Sports Network.
For about the past 7 months, Ellie's been running really high fevers, anywhere from 101 to 105. I really appreciated that when Ellie was going through a lot of her health problems that Dr. Duttler called me personally.
I think it's important for parents to know that we really care about these kids just as we would care for our own children. Access to health is really an important part of being a medical home in primary care. So we do allow our patients to make same-day appointments whenever possible. They can email me, or they can call.
Ellie really likes going to see Dr. Duttler. Doctor.
Well, it's been kind of a nice night here in Allendale. The breeze has been manageable, hasn't gotten too cold just yet. I wouldn't want to be in East Lansing at about 10 o'clock tonight facing the elements. But
a little chilly, but the precipitation has not been a factor, which is a huge factor when you're a throwing team like Grand Valley can be. And the weather this late November, you can't ask for much more.
Just about 9 for Chris Robinson on 1st down. A whole batch of new Lakers come into the ball game, including Terrell Dorsey. They're rotating a little bit at the wideout position there. They had Robbins and Sasek in that time, and now it's Jamie Potts and company. Brandon Bean out there right now, along with Matt Williams, who's to the top of the screen. Terrell Dorsey is the lone setback, and it's Parling up under center, and that usually means, well, trickery. Play action going long down the field. Jamie Potts! Oh! Wow. Ever so close. He wasn't going to score on that ball, but it would have been a sensational catch. And I think the calibration of Heath Parling on these long ones is just off a touch, Bob. And I say sometimes that you see that happen with quarterbacks throwing with the wind. They just don't realize they've got that little extra push. They've been taught not to leave it short. You know, you don't want to leave it in the path of the defender. Get it out there, but
I was talking.
Got by him.
It was interesting. I was talking to some of the guys pregame, some of the equipment guys, and they talked about this northwest wind that comes in from Grand Valley, and it looks like, you know, from one side it's coming from the other, but it hits off those bleachers and it comes back the other. You look at the flags, and they're coming in from both sides right now, so it's a tough read for the quarterbacks.
Robinson's back on. He's going to pick up the 1st down. So Grand Valley had its cake and ate it too, that particular series of downs. A big yardage pickup on 1st down. They tried for the game breaker on 2nd down and then went back to the frugal approach, picked up the 1st down, and we're down inside 2 minutes remaining And you'd have to think that maybe Tiffin missed its chance in the third quarter climbing back in. Had two good opportunities. Didn't score either time, and Grand Valley has added at least one touchdown here to make it a 35-0 game.
You talk about missing their opportunities. There was a couple of opportunities Pipkin had to walk and run the football in, and instead tried to throw it in, and incomplete on both sides. But you're right, Grand Valley's defense standing tough, and their offense missing opportunities.
Terrell Dorsey had to wait a moment for that hole to open up, but he finally forces his way into Tiffin territory at the 49-yard line. The Dragons give up 6 on that first down carry for Terrell. It's a big guy. He's hard to knock backwards. He's not a scat back.
No, but he does a nice job with his feet right there, being patient and following his blockers and allowing that hole to open up, and then uses his size and his forward lean to get that big 6 yards on first down. And I mean, what a luxury for an offensive coordinator to be able to call a play at 2nd and 4.
Well, about 3 weeks ago, Dorsey was contemplating the conclusion of a redshirt season. They forced him into action, and I will say this, he's gotten his money's worth because he's been in there a lot. He's played well, and it's been important. Dorsey is going to just about pick up the first down. He's right at the 45, which is where he needed to be. And now flags come in late. And what do we have here? Guys going at it. Everybody jumping in. Grand Valley players trying to play the peacemaker, and I hope that's not Brandon Bean who's in the middle of it.
And he threw a punch, and he's going to get no, it's not Brandon Bean.
Camille Jackson.
Camille threw a punch, and the late flag came back there by the back referee, and just not a smart play. You know, you're up 35-0. You're battling. I know that the other team's frustrated, and they might do some things. You just got to learn how to walk away from those, especially at this program.
Well, it's 2 weeks in a row now, and I'm eager to see how this one shakes out. Jackson might not have been the party who was guilty early on, but he certainly. There are 5 flags down there. I don't think I've ever seen it. Maybe 6. Is there another one out there?
There's 7.
Oh my gosh.
There are 7 flags.
Looks like an Easter egg hunt out there right now.
The full complement. We're going to have a while to get this next playoff as the officials are scouring to get their flags off the field, but there are 7 flags. I've never seen.
I think one guy at the end realized he hadn't thrown his flag, and he waited till everybody was looking down the field, then he just kind of dropped it.
1, 2,
discreetly.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Unbelievable.
That is it. Now, do the referees in this situation, do they have monogrammed flags, or do they just go look for the nicest one that doesn't have any moth holes in it? What do we have here, gentlemen?
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, number 28. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense, 82. 82 is disqualified.
Well, you called it, Bob.
That punch.
He threw one.
Yep.
And that means Camille Jackson will have to be walked off to the locker room, and he is already on his way. Not feeling too happy about that. Got a little pat on the back from Marquez Goldman. Well,
I can't even imagine. I mean, as a football player, I've never been ejected from a football game, but having your parents and your family and your friends up in the stands is something he'll learn from. I guarantee he'll never do that again, but it's an immature play on a program that prides itself on being disciplined and being very successful. It's a learning lesson for the young wide receiver.
One thing I would say there is that in defense of Jackson, and you really can't defend a disqualification act, he was done wrong by somebody early on.
Yeah.
But you've got to walk away from that. There's just no percentage. And I've never really seen a football fight yet where anybody got.
That's exactly where I was going
anything.
right there.
You're wearing a ton of equipment.
What's a punch doing for you there?
Yeah, not much. Parling facing pressure, throws it late. He just got rid of that one, I think, to Joe Robbins. I'm not sure what happened there after that particular play. It ended up being a 1st and 10 for Grand Valley back at the 45-yard line.
Well, late pressure from the outside from Tiffin, and Heath Parling recognized it and just basically threw that ball away. But a play where Tiffin dialed up some good pressure. Grand Valley didn't have any coverage on the backside. And almost a play where you would want to see Heath Parling try to wheel out and try to make a play against that. But he's used to making that smart play.
Let's see if they just go back to Terrell Dorsey. They do, and they blocked it up pretty well, the Lakers did. Dorsey has got almost enough for the first down. Again, he's right at that 35-yard line. We've had more 5- and 10-yard plays today. It's like Woolworths, the old 5 and dime. And Dorsey is going to get exactly 10 on what will be the final play of the third quarter. So we'll contemplate this situation. Looks like it's going to be 3rd down and inches for the Lakers when we return. 4th quarter to come here tonight on Xfinity in the Grand Valley Sports Network.
Many of our customers are repeat customers. Once they travel with Cardinal, they come back time and time again.
Our drivers are the best in the industry. We have so many positive comments about our drivers.
Cardinal Bus, 85 years of safe, reliable, worry-free transportation. Call us at 800-348-7487.
Hey John, check it out.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was testing to see if we really can turn any device in your house into a TV, and the tablet worked just fine, but I wanted to see if the phone would work as well. So I shrunk Sharon.
Every channel's live just like on TV, but it's my phone.
It's genius.
Shh. I'm watching TV.
Tiny Sharon's mean.
I'm right here.
Watch any channel live on any device around your home. The X1 Entertainment Operating System, only from Xfinity.
Fourth quarter just about underway right now. It's Parling giving it off to Chris Robinson, who squirms through a tiny hole to pick up another Laker first down. They have had a bundle of those in this ball game. 22 in the first half. And Grand Valley starting to move the chains with some regularity now here as this game goes on.
Chris Robinson, man, just a workhorse with those bad ribs, running for right now 26 carries and 122 yards. Just what a great career this kid has had. It's been fun to watch him play, and it's going to be sad to see him leave.
You know, he's also going to feel great about that wheel route touchdown pass that he took from Heath Parling. I'll tell you a little story about Heath Parling and Chris Robinson. I came out to talk with those fellas for the highlight show. Parling's going to take a timeout right now. He can mention this at the moment. Came out to do a story on Chris Robinson, and I told Matt Mitchell we'd like to get a comment from Heath too, because he knew him well, played with him, and had to do physical rehab with him after the year. So I came out and I said to Heath, well, we need you to say something nice about Chris Robinson. He goes, okay, where's the script? Chris Robinson didn't let it pass either. He kind of rolled his eyes and said, yeah, these guys are always busting my chops. Pretty quick on the uptake was that Laker quarterback with that comment right there. But Heath Parling is a guy who just, you know, he's well liked by his teammates. And I've heard a lot of guys talk about Heath Parling. Frank Boenzi, you know, I said to him earlier this season, you were at a Division I school. Who are some of the guys that you think could be successful at a higher level here at Grand Valley? He goes, well, I can think of two for sure. Matt Judon was one that he mentioned. And the other he said was Heath Parling. So pretty good praise from a defensive lineman talking about a quarterback. Usually they don't say nice things about the milk drinkers.
Well, Heath Parling's been a warrior. I mean, coming back from injury, he's just a tough kid and makes great decisions. And here he goes again, making a great throw to his buddy, Chris Robinson, on the outside. And C-Rob, 122 yards catching, but
he's got to get near 100 receiving. Now he's got to be up over 70 now with that one. Let's check it out. We had just one for 49 before, Bob, or did he have a couple?
It looks like 2 for 62 prior to that one. We'll see.
He's up.
He's pushing now.
He's pushing 80 right now. First down for the Lakers. A little over 14 remaining on what's going to be a very fine night for these Lakers seniors in their final ball game. Parling continues to manipulate and massage the system here. Goes to an audible, hands it off inside. This is Robinson running left. Oh, they just dragged him down from behind. It's a nice play by Tiffin. The linebacker, or the defensive end, Keith Butts, the senior from Delaware, Ohio, made the play there as Dorsey comes back into the game. I think C-Rob was concerned about what was in front, and then a guy got just in front of Grand Valley's Dan DeLuca there. Snuck in there and made the tackle.
That's a stretch play where all your offensive linemen are moving at a 45-degree angle, and they got to stay shoulder to shoulder, and DeLuca just a little bit late in his route allows the defender to cut underneath and make that play.
And I'm looking at 15 in black this time. Now they drop a man in his general vicinity. Parling looking to go the other way. This ball is caught. Joey Robbins. He got there. Touchdown. What a great catch and good wheels by Joe Robbins for the 6th Laker touchdown.
That's a dig route by Joe Robbins. Starts from the outside, comes inside, and then plants, and then cuts it back to the outside. The defensive back tries to undercut it. Parling puts it perfectly low and outside, and a great job of Robbins catching it with his hands low to the outside and breaking to the end zone. And we'll get a good look at it right here. The end of the play right there, scoring that touchdown. But what a great job of Robbins catching a low outside ball with his hands and getting into the end zone.
Joe Robbins with the touchdown catch, and what a ball game for Heath Parling as Joel Skipper knocks it there. We're going to do some statistical comparisons when we come back with more on the Grand Valley Sports Network.
Refreshment calls, Coors Light answers.
Anybody else?
Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
I was only 18 when I was diagnosed with cancer. I went from being an active, healthy teenager to becoming very sick very quickly. But thanks to the collaboration between researchers and my oncologist, I survived, and I'm now in remission.
We were curious, could a checking account help fight cancer? We'll give $150 to Stand Up to Cancer and $150 to you when you open a new checking account with direct deposit and make 3 online bill payments at Fifth Third Bank, the Curious Bank.
Boy, it's nice to be Joe Robbins. You just scored a touchdown. You're getting congrats from your fans, and you live in the beautiful Michigan town of Petoskey up there. That's a good play by Joe. And look at the speed. He runs away from these defenders here, and nice downfield blocking by Brandon Bean, who at least was engaged there, Bob.
Great job of blocking downfield. He recognized that he was his partner in crime, caught the ball, and he was blocking downfield so he can get in the end zone.
Good kick by Aya DeRosa, taken at about the 7-yard line, and nice turn upfield by the return man. And with it for Tiffin was Tony Shedd, who brings it out near the 37-yard line. Might see some different folks getting into the ball game right now, and the minute I say that, I see Sonny Haskins trotting out there with Cody Moore. Some of those first-team D guys are going to get a rest, and some of the guys that we'll see more and more.
Yeah, Keen Belcher is another one.
The next couple of years will be out there. You might see Schlosser out there, linebacker too, I would expect.
What a deserved break, though, for that front four. You talked and mentioned about the fearsome foursome. Those guys put in yeoman's effort in the first 3+ quarters of this game, doing a great job of keeping this very explosive offense led by Antonio Pipkin to 0 points.
I'm going to let you check this one out next week to see if I'm correct, but I think the last time the Lakers had a quarterback who had 4 touchdown passes and 2 touchdown runs was Brad Ichek against Wayne State at Fifth Third Park. You remember that ball game under the lights there? That was when Joik Bell was still playing for Wayne State. Pipkin's going to continue on, turn the corner here. He's going to get lit up as he goes out of bounds near his bench, but picked up about 7 on the play.
As you were reciting that statistic, the first name that came to my mind was Colin Finnerty with his ability to run and throw the football. But Brad Ichek, another great quarterback in Grand Valley, your legends.
Brad Ichek, very comparable in some ways to Heath Parling. He wasn't really the kind of guy that you thought would beat you with his feet. He ran better than you thought, and he was a better passer than advertised when he first came in. Pipkin up over the top, tried to drill one into a little window there, but Grand Valley got some pretty good coverage on the outside. One of the people that was available on that play for the Lakers, 32, that's Dante Carey, who's establishing himself as a pretty good player at that position in this league. He's out there right now with Trey Walton, who's playing on the other side. Orling is out of the ball game right now, but I think Kyle Short is still in there. Little toss out here. Will they get the first down? Yeah, they do, into Laker territory. The guy that I should have been mentioning just now was Garrett Pudne, who's back playing after being out for a while. I think he had a concussion a couple of weeks ago.
You know, one of the things, too, that Grand Valley has had a great opportunity with their great run in the 2000s was their ability for their offense to get up big on teams and allow some guys to get a lot of playing time and a lot of exposure. Grand Valley hasn't been able to do that over the last few years. And this is a great opportunity, up 42-0 for Grand Valley, to get some of their secondary guys some experience, some game time reps, because a lot of these guys are going to be called to task next year.
Oh, the big guy, Alton Voss with the sack. Now people pulling people away from the pile. You don't want to be doing that. Dylan Havert was in as well for Grand Valley on that last play, 93. But it was Big Alton who got there, right, Bob?
It looked like it, coming from the right side.
Speed rush. He fakes to the outside, comes back inside, defeats a second blocker, and just stormed right through.
Unbelievable. What an athlete that kid is right there. And you see him, great picture of him right there. The big fellow pushed to the big offensive tackle outside and tried to get help from his running back, and he just split both of them, came in and gets the sack.
2nd and 20 now.
It'll be interesting to see with Alton Voss in this offseason where they're going to move him with all the depth that they have at tight end. Alton Voss might get a great opportunity to play some defensive line next year.
Pipkin's going to run out of bounds at the 50. He got away from Talley, and Poudinay let him go. He got back the lost yardage, but it's still 3rd and 10 with 11:15 remaining. I'll tell you, a guy that I'm looking forward to seeing tonight, I hope they get him a chance to show what he can do, is Isaiah Grimes, who's been a great soldier for this program. Think about this. A couple of years ago, when Heath Parling went out, Isaiah Grimes came in, I think, to play the last 8 games and was the #1 quarterback in Division II in pass efficiency. It was an amazing stat for a guy who had not really played at all until he finally got the chance. Strong arm guy, could put up big numbers. They tried the running play, and it's a beautiful call on 3rd down. It'll be the running back, Jerry Brown, picking up yardage, and very clever there. 3rd and 10. Grand Valley is getting amped up, thinking they're going to go after the quarterback, and Jerry Brown just takes his time and picks up about 15 on the play.
Talley had an opportunity to make a play in the backfield, and so did Cody Moore right there at the line of scrimmage, and both of them aren't able to bring down the big running back and a big first down for Tiffin, something that this offense desperately needed.
Well, I'd be very surprised if Tiffin doesn't knock one in here at some point in the proceedings. They're a pretty good team, and now it's 1s against 2s. Let's see if Laker Pride takes over. They put some pressure on Pipkin, but he throws it to a man who got away from the tackle, and this will be Correa. I thought they'd get in. I didn't think they'd get in on the next play. Correa scores the touchdown, and the quarterback took a lot of pressure and delivered that ball, and Grand Valley tried to make a big play on the outside, missed it. Correa walks in for the score.
Well, Grand Valley brings the heat. They go man-to-man on the outside with the receivers, running with the outside receivers, and Kyle Short just takes a bad angle and misses the tackle, and he's able to run right into the end zone, and that's just disciplined defense. Grand Valley's got to do a better job of breaking down and making that play.
Okay, it's 42-6. Do we really need to go through?
Well, I think that's their swinging gate extra point that they'll run on every single touchdown.
The rigmarole. Okay. Correa puts it down. The kick is up and through. And the guy that knocked that one through is the guy who sounds like he's a converted soccer player, Tomislav Durizic. But let's go back and take a look at what Heath Parling's been able to accomplish here tonight. 2 running touchdowns, 4 passing touchdowns, and this might be the highlight run of his career. This is the one he'd want to show his grandchildren.
Absolutely, diving into the end zone.
Yeah, I had 4.3 speed when I was in college, and I just did everything. Another getaway here. That was the beautiful little pitch that came back on a downfield penalty, which maybe shouldn't have been called. Parling just masterful in the way he's conducted things, and Grand Valley has had such an eye-pleasing variety to the play calling tonight, Bob. They've really thrown the kitchen sink at Tiffin, kind of reminding me of what we saw a couple of weeks ago from Ashland, when Ashland did the same thing to Grand Valley. And they used Travis Tarnowski in a fashion that we thought was just really creative. A lot of different plays. What kind of went against their type a lot in that game, and Grand Valley had a lot of difficulty with it.
Well, it's really one thing when you can mix the run and the pass. It's a very difficult thing for a defensive coordinator to try to dial up a defense when they're really not sure what you're coming with. And so far today, again, hats off to this offensive line, a mixed matched unit, guys that are playing out of position, moving around all over the place, and they've done a great job of protecting Heath Parling in the passing game and opening up holes for Dorsey and for Chris Robinson.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say we're expecting an onside kick. This is going to be a rugby scrum in a moment. It's perfect. Flags all over the place. Tiffin had the ball momentarily, but the penalty is going to be against Tiffin. They had guys that went offside. No doubt about it. We'll see if Grand Valley gets the ball. Yeah, they're pointing in this direction, but Tiffin, you had officials on either side of the field throwing flags.
Well, defensively, as far as the kick return goes, Grand Valley was not set up with their hands team, and they were scrambling to get in position. I'm surprised that Grand Valley did not call a timeout before this.
Both sides, kicking team 55. 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
No, I think it was a late move, and now Grand Valley's going to switch and get the A personnel back on. They had a lot of substitutes on just then, Bob. That was like the second return team.
But Grand Valley, again, right there up 42-7, sleeping at the wheel a little bit when they see that setup, and we saw it, and we could see the onside getting set up, and Grand Valley having their kick return on. That's an opportunity for their special teams coach to call a timeout and get your right personnel and right setup in there.
They didn't mask it at all.
No.
I mean, the kicker kind of took his sweet time getting over the ball, and he was walking almost parallel to what would be considered the, I wouldn't say the line of scrimmage, but where the ball was going to be kicked from. So you knew it was coming. Grand Valley's changed it up now. One deep man is Justice Wright. He's back around the 20, so I don't think they're going to onside kick it here.
They look like they're kicking away now, and a tough break for Tiffin because it looked like they were able to get that onside kick.
Let's see if Wright, well, they went and kicked it kind of right at him, which is not a real good decision. He's back there by himself. Just get up the field and fall down. I don't think that's his intention. Oh, but a late flag comes in. It's going to be a block from behind. That's what happens when somebody catches the ball on one side of the field and ends up on the other. Grand Valley be penalized here, and Jamie Potts down there saying, not me. But Joe Worth, I think, was also in the area as well for Grand Valley.
81, they're in the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, there's two things going against you as a kick return team right here. One, they kick it away and you're running back and you're not used to being on the kickoff return team. And two, you're running backwards trying to chase a guy. Very tough position. It's just an opportunity right there if you're on the kick return team where you just keep your hands up and, like you said, just have the kick returner run upfield and then fall down because you don't have any blockers set up.
Here's Isaiah Grimes coming into the ball game for the Lakers. I kind of wonder on that play. I've looked at those before and thought, if once they kick it over your head, why don't you just have your guys go engage right away instead of having people, instead of peeling back?
Yeah.
Just try to hit them early and at least give your guys some time, but that's probably counterintuitive. Grimes is going to hand it off on first down. This will be a short pickup for Terrell Dorsey to the 11-yard line. The penalty, a block in the back, gives Grand Valley a 1st and 10 here with now just under 10 minutes remaining in the contest of a 42-7 game. Grand Valley scored the first 6 touchdowns, and just lately we saw Tiffin get in on the pass from Pipkin, Antonio Pipkin, the sophomore quarterback, to Pedro Correa. Blocked up pretty well on the left side this time. Grand Valley's going to get Dorsey. Whoa! Ride him, Cowboy, all the way out to the 30-yard line. A couple of people defensively paid a price that time.
I was just going to say that Tiffin right now, knowing Grand Valley wants to run out the clock, is going to stack the box, which is going to give Isaiah Grimes an opportunity to throw the ball. One thing Grand Valley has done in the past when they're trying to milk the clock, if the opposing team really fills that box, they're really apt to throw the football and give what the defense gives you. But right there, Dorsey does a great job of churning out a first down.
Isaiah, now he's got some breathing room. Matt Mitchell might turn him loose, which would only be fair here. Taking his time, looking things over, letting the clock run down. That's a veteran move right there. Young guy might not want to do that. The ball down in the flat. Potts couldn't get his hand up, but he was defended well by Sean Scott, who's had a bit of a tough time tonight out on the corner. It'll be 2nd down and 10 now for the Lakers.
Actually,
one thing about Isaiah Grimes, when he throws the out, it gets there. You better be ready. And I think that maybe Jamie might have been a little bit surprised by the velocity of that last ball. A little different timing with a new quarterback.
It was actually Troy Sasick on the outside, the wide receiver, the 6'4", 200-pound redshirt freshman from Notre Dame Prep. And like you said, just not having the timing with some of these young wide receivers on the outside. Grimes getting a lot of reps during the week, but just not with these young guys.
That's the first ball they've thrown to Troy, so he'll be anxious to make up for that when he gets another chance out to the 32. I take some heat from my friends in the Sasick family, Bob. This time I'm in Detroit. I've known Troy's dad for a long time.
Here he comes again.
Okay, I see 86. Talk about having a senior moment. I thought 86 was 15.
Well, these jerseys now are so tight and they're so scrunched up, it's hard to blame you. There he is, Troy Sasick, the great-looking wide receiver from Notre Dame.
That's the school, well, where they play the school. It's the old Pontiac Catholic High School where Notre Dame moved out to a number of years ago. That's where Kyle McMahon was from. Good block by Sasick that time, helping his team get a first down on the carry by Terrell Dorsey.
You said it, Troy had a great block on the outside, and again, we keep harping on it, but we talked about, Israel Woolfolk and some of these guys in the past from Grand Valley. His name just kind of pops to my mind. He's a big 6'5" wide receiver, but the ability for these wide receivers to block downfield is so integral and important to this running offense for Grand Valley. And Sasek right there does a great job of sealing the outside and along that first down run.
Well, Troy very nearly made the trip to Western Oregon as a true freshman a couple of years ago. I remember talking to Matt Mitchell. Billy Seiler had been hurt at the time and said he was the next man up. But then he had a couple of problems, had a broken arm, and had some health issues as well. Grand Valley running again. Look at this kid go. Terrell Dorsey into Tiffin territory at the 49-yard line. And it's one thing about sport today at the college level that a lot of young kids aren't prepared for. You do have to wait, especially at a program like Grand Valley. It's not going to happen for a lot of people. And I think about Grand Valley last year, Bob, in soccer, for instance, Abby Miller had waited 3 years to play, finally got a chance her senior year, made first-team All-America, the goaler. And now this year, Andrea Strauss is playing goalie, first year that she's played. She's a former club team player, and she's had a great season. And you had one player waited her whole career to play, another one that was just playing essentially club sport.
Well, you said it, these kids, every one of these guys that are out here were the best players on their high school football teams, and they're used to playing and getting opportunities. And you come to Grand Valley, and some people think, you're coming to a D2 school that you're going to be able to play right away, but there's so many talented athletes on this football team that you got to wait your turn, really make your work, and do your work in the offseason and during practice to show your worth to get on the field.
Cameron Hobbs is in there right now on the offensive line. He's a guy that actually started some ball games earlier this year, then got hurt, and DeLuca replaced him, and DeLuca kind of held his position. I think Cam Hobbs was, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was a first-game starter, wasn't he, at the beginning of the season because of injury out in California?
Yep.
He's in there right now, and I'm always impressed when you see the second offensive line guys, some of whom are in there right now, play with some synchronicity. They're not making mistakes, and they're doing a pretty good job. Dorsey that time got jumped behind the line of scrimmage, still able to wriggle near the first down yardage. And Grand Valley is seeing this one off in a real nice way, I think. They're just melting minutes off the clock, methodically going about their business. They want to hammer it forward again and pick up another first down. Jeremy Byers, the tight end, redshirt sophomore from Macomb, Dakota, is out there right now wearing 45 in black and white. And Bean is a wide receiver. Robbins out there, and also Matt Williams to the top of the screen in 24.
You said it with that offensive line. It's really difficult when you've got new guys shuffling in and out. It's one of the positions as a group, as an entity, to try to be cohesive and really try to know what your guy is doing to the left of you and to the right of you to really make an impact. And one of the things right there, we see Jack Ginn throwing in one of the guys that we thought we'd see earlier, Parker McInnes, giving Dorsey a little break. And McInnes is going to get a great opportunity to run the football. But this offensive line has just done a fantastic job today of really working together and making plays. And Dorsey, we see getting a little bit of help right now, getting off the field.
Well, this is not good for Grand Valley. It was probably going to be his last play of the game anyway. He's sitting up. He doesn't appear to be too badly hurt, but he's stretching his left arm. Maybe a shoulder problem a little bit, Bob. And I always get worried with so many guys. You hear about torn biceps all the time now in football, and I don't know what the reason for that is, but Terrell is going to get up, and he's not going to let people see it if he's hurt. He looks in pretty good shape. Just kind of shook it off a little bit. He'll be rested the rest of the ball game.
The irony of that play, right before that play, on that third down and short play, I saw McInnes try to get in the field, and Jack Ginn, coach, pulled him off and was like, oh, let's get Dorsey get this first down. And then he gets a little banged up. But now we'll get to see McInnes here get an opportunity to run the football.
It's the nature of the beast. This is what we saw a couple of years ago. Justin Sherrod, remember when he played, came in a role like this, all of a sudden became a good back. And Michael Rattay the same way. He was way down the chart, and you saw him run in garbage situations, and you thought, holy cow. This guy could actually run the ball. There's going to be McInnes. They've got it sealed a little bit on the left side. Looked a little bit like Mike Rattay there, 34 in black, picks up about 4. They tell us from down below, it's the first time since 2012 that Grand Valley's had a couple of 100-yard rushers in the same game. Chris Robinson, 126. Dorsey on the sheet here, 107, but I think he actually added to that total.
109.
Before he left the game. Back in 2012, Kirk Spencer at 228. Mike Rattay, 118 against Wayne State. Kind of a shame those guys were not available for action here tonight. Let's hope Kirk Spencer gets back. They say maybe next week.
He's got that strange injury, the bottom of that foot, that torn ligament or stretched ligament. It's one that just needs time to heal.
McInnes going right up the middle. He's down to the 30, shy of the first down as we go down inside 4 minutes. And it's kind of ironic. Grand Valley puts in the 6'7" quarterback, and suddenly he's leaping for center snaps. They must have known, well, we need to get our tall quarterback in there. This guy's likely to snap it a little bit higher.
The target for him is he's got quite a range in regards to the center. Has got a lot of room for error on that short snap to the quarterback. But you said it, Isaiah. What a great guy to have back there as your backup quarterback, and he's just done such a great job of being just a great football player for Grand Valley. You know, I mean, not the star player, but always every time he steps in, he's ready to play.
Isaiah Grimes going to take a timeout. We'll keep it right here, right now. And while we have the moment, Bob, you and I are always amazed by the work of our crew here at Grand Valley. It seems to me amazing that we get so much done with so few people relative to the size and scope of other broadcasts. And I want to just take some time to mention some of the guys. I wish I could tell you who we're looking at right now. These guys are all bundled up, but our producer-director is Bill Cuppy. Our sergeant major, the assistant producer, is John Van Doren. We've got photographers everywhere. Joe Royston, Jeremy Knickerbocker, Paul DeLue working inside the truck tonight, Tony Asmus, Big James Batens, who was with me at the soccer game the other night. Terry Ballard has helped out. Brad Scott's downstairs. Tony Parker, and the guy we call the synthesizer, Jeremy Moog, is here today as well, helping out. And finally, last but not least, the guy in the crew that I've known the longest, Tyler Lecciadone, who's our troubleshooter, who does everything. We mentioned him last because he's an Ashland grad who didn't seem too disturbed by the last Laker loss we had here at Lubbers. But Tyler is a guy who's invaluable to us, and the people have done great work for us throughout the year, and we hear a lot of great compliments on the quality of our broadcast. Not a lot about the announcing, but the quality of the broadcast. Oh, McInnes almost slithered out as he got down to the 20. But congratulations and thanks to all the guys that help out, and it's really something. You know that very few Division II operations throughout the country put on the kind of web or television broadcasts that we're able to do every week here. And we've heard it before, especially when we went to California last year. We met a lot of people who are west of the Mississippi, and they say, oh, yeah, we watch it every week. And they've enjoyed it. Grand Valley's been forward-thinking with the idea of getting these broadcasts on the web to let people, alums that have gone to different parts of the world, see the team that they've enjoyed so much down through the years. And our small but valiant group of troopers here have made it possible. McInnes snapping outside. Boy, he's tough to bring down. That's
running hard.
It's a new age Michael Rattay. We're going to call him McInnes. He looks like him a little bit. He's kind of a squatty guy and tough.
You said it, though. I'm a D2 football junkie, and I keep tabs on everything that's going around. I actually watched the Ferris broadcast last week against Lake Erie, and I just love Division II football. And our production crew, led by Bill Cuppy and the group, I mean, just do an unbelievable job. And actually this year out at Azusa, didn't have a chance to work the game, but met some of the fans, and they actually thanked us for the broadcast that we did, that they were able to watch last year when Azusa was here at our place. So, yeah, hats off to everything that Grand Valley and the production crew do for this broadcast.
This is McInnes again. They're just going to let him run it. I sure hope Matt Mitchell lets the big guy throw one here. Third down. Minute 42 left in the contest. Grand Valley's going to see this one out rather easily. A most impressive performance against a team that had a winning record coming in. So this is a team that beat Wayne State. A team that's had some pretty good victories this year. They won at Saginaw Valley, which kind of threw Saginaw Valley into a tailspin earlier this year when people thought they'd be better, and all of a sudden, Tiffin, another one of those Ohio schools that's getting better. They've got a good quarterback and some good receivers to build on. Come on, Isaiah, throw one in the end zone here. No jury in the world would convict you. McInnes, can he get a first down? No, but it's coming back. Now Isaiah may get to throw anyway because there's a flag late in the holding area.
Looks like it might.
That would have been a first down and goal for the Lakers. Robert Auld is on right now. It was sort of in his general direction.
44 offense.
No, but it wasn't.
They're down.
The other
Joe Warner, the tight end. Let's see if we can figure out where that happened. Well, we're not going to see it, but a nice little bit of work here by the young man to keep himself going. He almost had the first down. It would have been awfully close. I personally think, you got your second unit, a lot of your second unit players on right now. This guy has been a great part of your program. Part of me feels a little bit sick that he's not had a chance to air it out too much in this game. I think he's only thrown one ball.
I think Coach Mitchell and his staff just want to see this clock run down. And
yeah, that's how it goes. This will be the last play probably for Grand Valley offensively. I don't think they're going to stop the clock, and I don't think Tiffin will stop the clock. McInnes is going to run it. He's got yardage. Stays in. Well, he goes out of bounds. Well, they might have one more play here.
That's where Coach Mitchell is going to be. Come on, young fella. Know the situation. Know what we're trying to do here.
I think it's okay to let them compete. I want to go back to the great Yoda of Grand Valley football, Tom Beck. Let them play. You're out there, you accept the risk of what's going to happen when you play, and it's not unsporting or anything else. You're trying to get into the end zone. Why should you stop? In some ways, it seems disrespectful to me when you just lay down when you've got a lead and don't do anything.
Greatest quote of all time, Coach Beck. It's not our job to stop ourselves.
Fourth down, McInnes is going to get it again. They ran the same way again. They must be able to defend it this time. He goes down at the 15-yard line, and as the clock continues to run, that will just about do it. Tiffin will come on for one more play, and I think that Gary Goff will probably say, Uncle, you beat us. That's the way it goes. So Grand Valley moves on next week to play at Saginaw Valley. That's a 1 o'clock start if you're a Laker fan. Catch up with the radio crew for that one. This will do it for us for the season.
That game in so many years past has meant so much, and it's doesn't mean as much as far as the playoff picture, but as far as pride goes in Grand Valley, trying to stay over 500 in Saginaw Valley, hosting the game. When you look at the two programs and you talk about big brother, little brother with Michigan State, it's kind of been the same with Grand Valley and Saginaw Valley, and Saginaw Valley is going to have a lot to play for as well.
They're just going to hand it off. I think it's Jerry Brown out there who's got it, or is that a new running back who snuck into the ball game for Tiffin? What certainly is going to be the final play of the game. Chris Watkins got a carry there, but two playoff teams a year ago, Saginaw Valley and Grand Valley. A lot of good players still on both sides, but this is really an impressive performance for the Lakers and Matt Mitchell, getting a much-needed boost of confidence and a win tonight. Some final comments, Bob.
Just a complete game. Offense, defense, special teams. Coach Mitchell and his staff have to be really happy with the way these 17 seniors were able to lead their team to victory here in their last home game. And just a great job by that offensive line like we talked about all night, just meshing together and protecting Heath Parling and doing a great job with two 100-yard running backs.
Chris Robinson ran for 126, Terrell Dorsey 109. Heath Parling ran 3 times for 40, had 2 touchdown runs, 4 touchdown passes. The Lakers spread the wealth around, and on the final night of the home portion of the schedule, Grand Valley runs out very, very impressively here today to move the record of the season to 5-4 in the GLIAC, 5-5 overall, 1 game to come at Saginaw Valley. So that'll do it for us here tonight. I want to thank you for being with us on the Grand Valley Sports Network, for our producer, director, Bill Cuppy, and our great crew, and for Bob Mitchell. I'm Tom Cleary. Thanks for being with us during the 2014 football season. Our final score here tonight at Lover Stadium in Allendale, it's Grand Valley 42, Tiffin 7.